This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from Truist Park in Cobb County, just outside Atlanta, Georgia. It's game number 4, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Atlanta Braves. Welcome to the broadcast booth here in Atlanta. That's Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. It's been a tough road trip. Cardinals have dropped 4 in a row. They've dropped 5 of 6 on this trip. They'd love to finish it with a win here tonight before a long homestand kicks off tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure, and it's not going to be an easy task. They're facing a very talented young right-hander, but you know what? They're a talented team as well. Hopefully they'll be able to turn around some of these fastballs and get going home with a little bit of momentum, because you're right, it doesn't get much easier when you get home. You got the Phillies, you got the Dodgers waiting for you.
And also the Cincinnati Reds to wrap up the first half before the All-Star break. Now, the lineup tonight, it's a little bit different, but there's a couple of mainstays in there and a guy that could be the first baseman and an All-Star rep for the National League, and that's Paul Goldschmidt.
And look, if the season ended today, this is your MVP. He's the best player in baseball, and he does it in every single facet of the game. He's putting up ridiculous numbers. He's making crazy plays in the field. He makes everybody better around him, and you're right. When things aren't going great, it's nice to have a constant like Goldie.
So Goldschmidt has a chance to represent the Cardinals at the All-Star game, and he's going against Pete Alonso, who also is putting up very good numbers for the first-place Mets in the National League East. Now on the other side of the diamond, you have a 9-time Gold Glover, probably wins his 10th, and that's Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, well, absolutely another all-star here in Nolan Arenado. Keep voting for him. Cardinals.com. You got until 12:59 tomorrow when the voting stops. But Nolan Arenado, he's been hot on this road trip, by the way. You talk about the struggles this team has had. He's been .500 on the road, makes circus plays. That is one of the most ridiculous plays we've seen all year, and he continues to impress every single time he steps on the field.
All right, Nato has had a terrific road trip as well. One of the bright spots on what has otherwise been a dismal trip for the Cardinals. And Arenado, Manny Machado, 2 of the best third basemen in the game today.
You certainly are very likely to both be represented at the All-Star game. But look, I'm a little biased here. I want Nolan starting that thing. Everybody better get out there and vote.
Arenado and Goldie, those two are in the lineup tonight for Ali Marmol's club. Truist Park is the scene. It's game number 4 as the Braves are trying to pick up a 4-game sweep. It's Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports.
Will be underway shortly as the Cards looking to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Braves. The Cards wrapping up this 7-game road trip, and as they try to kickstart these bats in tonight's series finale, is boy, Auerbach, they have been struggling, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if you think about last Saturday when they had 5 home runs, the 4 in the first inning, and then Otto wins the ball game with a home run in the 9th, you know, that runs per game would be to drop another 1, not lower. But runners in scoring position has really been a problem on this road trip. Also, not getting on base. A lot of the guys have really cooled off, except for the big 2.
3 for 36 with runners in scoring position so far on this road trip. But one of the constants, and you kind of touched on it as far as the offense is concerned, has been Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, 3-4, a part of that offense. They've been doing it at least early in this road trip from a production standpoint with RBIs, but they continue to roll with the average.
Yeah, Arenado, 12 for 24 with 3 home runs on this trip. And, you know, Goldie right behind, who's leading National League in batting, he's been hitting .364 on this road trip. So these guys have been doing their job, just not many people in front of them to drive them in. And we've got to lengthen that lineup and have a little more threat throughout it.
Got to get guys in the lineup for them to actually get some more run production as far as RBIs are concerned. Well, Ali Marmol, the Cardinals manager, told our own Jim Hayes, we had it during the pregame show, if you didn't see it, it's the fact that he thinks the health of the team has kind of hurt him a little bit, at least from an offensive standpoint, but help may be on the way. Last night for the Memphis AAA Redbirds, Tyler O'Neill and Corey Dickerson, both in the lineup in their rehab. And for Dickerson, got on base a pair of times. Tyler O'Neill, 1 for 4 with an RBI hunger.
Yeah, I think Tyler is much closer to returning. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the lineup tomorrow night when they start a 10-game home streak. But, also, Bader is feeling much better. you really have missed Tyler O'Neill and Bader in there in the outfield. A lot of the rookies have done a great job, but they're just not, you're talking about two Gold Glove outfielders and guys that have great speed, so if they get on bases, they're threats too.
Well, you think about Tyler O'Neill and what he was doing offensively before he came up with the hamstring injury. I mean, he was really playing well from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, his last two games before he got hurt were 3-hit games each, so we'd like to see that return.
All right, we'll take a break as we continue. Get you ready for the first pitch from Atlanta between the Cards and the Braves. We'll talk a little D when we return on Valley Sports.
Jump, oh, and a throw and an out. What a play. On the ground right side, diving stop, Gorman. Tommy Edman spinning, oh, what a play. Tommy Edman, backhanded, Gorman, oh, he made the play. Diving stop, knocked down by Donovan, gets up and throws a strike to first. Oh, he caught it. What a catch, Tommy Edman. Wow. Oh, what a play here. Incredible play, Nolan Arenado. Oh, what a catch with his back to the infield. What a play from the Gold Glover, Paul Goldschmidt.
Yes, the Cardinals defense has been elite again this season. In fact, two of their infielders leading the major leagues in defensive WAR. Tommy Edman leading the way in all of Major League Baseball with 2.1, and Nolan Arenado ranking fourth there, you see, at 1.4. And so for Tommy Edman, not in the lineup tonight, however, it doesn't make any difference, Al. He started out playing third, then went to right field for a while, second base, shortstop. This kid just can play Gold Glove defense anywhere.
Well, he can play, period. And 11 runs saved this season. That's tied for fourth in the National League. Doesn't matter where he plays, as you said. He's going to give you that solid effort and always be going to be right on the mark.
So Tommy Edman obviously moved over to shortstop with Paul DeYoung going down to Memphis to try to find his offense. So Nolan Gorman, one of the top prospects for the Cardinals, gets called up and playing over at second base. Remember, Gorman, when he was drafted, was playing at the hot corner. Well, that all changed, obviously, when the Cardinals acquired Nolan Arenado. But I really have been impressed how this young man has made quickly the transition to second base.
No doubt about it. I mean, he's gonna be a real plus defender. I think he already is. You know, he's still got the strong arm of a third baseman, but still working on the footwork a little bit. But boy, he credits an awful lot to Stubby here at the major league level, Kindo at AAA.
All right, but as we all know, the staples as far as the Cardinals' Gold Glove defense is at the corners. And of course, we go to first base and Paul Goldschmidt. And for Goldie, you really think about it, other than the catcher, the guy in the infield that handles the ball most, other than the catcher, is the first baseman. We talked about this during the pregame show, is the fact that Cardinals had a little bit of a problem defensively at first base. It got all solved when they acquired Paul Goldschmidt.
All you have to do is get it in the vicinity, and he's going to make the play. But, yes, he has saved the infielders numerous times, and what a complete player both cornermen are.
All right, as we go to break and continue to get you ready for the Cardinals and the Braves, Matthew Liberatore will get the start in Game 4. Dan and Brad will have more on the Redbird lefty when we come back on Valley Sports.
The National League, they are 19 games above 500 going back to the turn of May into June. Swinging hot bats. Nearly 6 runs a game to 64 home runs, and we've seen it on full display 3 nights in a row.
Top to bottom, this lineup is dangerous, and it's going to be a tough task for Matthew Liberatore in this ball game. He's made 5 starts so far, mixed bag of results. The key is throw strikes. Strike 1. Spot up the fastball. You see it there, especially into right-handers. And then there's his pitch. It's the breaking ball, his big curveball. That's the out pitch for Matthew Liberatore. But the key is, Dan, you have to be in command of counts. That's what I'm going to be looking for out of Matthew Liberatore.
So it's the Braves, it's the Cardinals. Spencer Strider, he's a good one. The right-hander for the Atlanta Braves. Matthew Liberatore, the lefty for St. Louis. Game number 4 comes your way next. Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Cloudy skies overhead at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Game number 4 between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. Brendan Donovan digging in against Spencer Strider. Hard thrower, not a big guy, big lower half in terms of his legs where he gets a lot of his power. And he's a good one that the Braves have.
He is a really good one. He called up last year for a couple of games at the end of the year. Factored into the bullpen early, their 5th starter spot. I mean, it bounced around 4 or 5 different guys, and finally they gave it to Strider, and he has just been running with it. So far, he's made 7 starts, got a 2.87 ERA. You're going to see a lot of that. The Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Spencer Strider. He's got that good old-fashioned 4-seam fastball. Uses it about 70% of the time. Then his slider, that's the swing and miss pitch. Every once in a while, you'll see the changeup to a lefty, but not often.
And the 1-2 taken outside by Donovan. 4 hits on this trip, 4 for 22. And gets the start tonight at third base. Arenado get him off his feet, but he will be the designated hitter. Made a terrific play here last night defensively. And the 2-2 is a called third strike. That's now 91 strikeouts in 60 innings for Spencer Strider. As we mentioned in the open, it's a unique lineup for Ollie, with Yepez batting second, then Goldie, Arenado, Nolan Gorman, Lars Nootbaar, Connor Capel, Sosa, and Romine. You're talking about a lot of guys that were not here at the beginning of the season for St. Louis.
Yeah, and certainly, a game where there's some opportunity for these guys. This guy is going to be a tough customer. If you're ready to jump on a fastball, well, maybe you can have some success.
And here is Yepez, and a pitch taken outside. How about your Toyota key to the game?
Yeah, well, start early. That's what you're going to have to do in the batter's box. He's throwing 98 to 102 is what he's got in the tank. So be ready for that fastball and then adjust anything else. But that's the rip you want to see right there. 97 down the middle, you let it fly. I think that's going to be something. The Cardinals haven't hit a home run in the last 2 games. And their offense isn't totally predicated upon the home run. But the long ball is really going to help against a guy like this who's going to be hard to string together hits with.
And the 1-1 pitch to Juan Yepez. That's the slider. He throws that hard as well. 86 miles an hour, and the opposition 5 for 49 against that slider.
That's a good pitch, too. This one's up in the zone, but he generally does a very good job. And you saw Yepez there, just that spin coming at him, buckled him a little bit. But he generally throws this thing down and away, and it is good.
And the 1-2, swing and a miss. So back-to-back strikeouts to start the night for Strider. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Adam Duvall back in their starting lineup in left. Harris is in centered, and Acuna in right. Riley, Swanson, Arcia, Olsen on the infield. Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate. And with 2 outs and nobody on, it's Paul Goldschmidt, 8 for 22 on the trip. And a slider in for a strike.
Just look at the couple of sliders he's thrown so far. The one to Yepez buckled him a little bit. Right there to Goldie, buckles him. You're so geared up for 100.
And the 0-1, nothing in 2. Strider is 23 from Knoxville, Tennessee. Originally drafted by Cleveland, did not sign, and then went on to pitch at Clemson, and then drafted by the Atlanta Braves. The 0-2 put in play by Goldschmidt, popped up shallow right, and it drops in. And Goldie on his way to second base. Throw is offline, and that'll be a double. And sometimes you got to have a little break too when things aren't going right. And Paul Goldschmidt came in second in doubles in the National League behind Olsen, and that's number 28.
Just able to drop one in here. You got 3 different players converging on this, and nobody's talking to each other after the play. After it gets in and Goldie's on second, you got 3 guys just sitting there staring at each other saying what went wrong.
And here is Nolan Arenado. Real issue right now for the Cardinals. It's been runners in scoring position. They have 4 hits with runners in scoring position on the trip. So 2 outs and a runner at second base. Arenado takes a fastball high. So the .091 average for the team with runners in scoring position. Arenado, by the way, has had a fabulous road trip with a .500 average and 3 home runs. Fouled straight back in. It's 1-1.
Well, the right guy to have up in a spot when you do have a runner in scoring position, then especially with what he does against the fastball, hitting .339. 9 of his 17 home runs have been against the heater, so you know he can get his hands going and get to it.
Cardinals come into play 4 games above .500, 44-40, and 20-24 on the road, 3 games back in the NL Central. Here's a 1-1. Fastball and a strike. This has been what the road trip has featured a lot. In the first innings with the Cardinals, 2 outs, and then Goldie gets on and Arenado finds a way to bring him in. And with this good road trip, his average is up to .295. The 1-2. Taken just a bit low. Nolan Gorman on deck.
Yeah, certainly would be nice against Spencer Strider to be able to get to him early. Get one in, give yourself a little bit of a cushion. He's coming off of an outing where he punched out 11 in 6 innings against Cincinnati.
Gave up a run and 1 hit in those 6 innings. That was it. The 2-2. And a full count. Well, at least you're making him work a little bit here in the first inning. There's not a lot of weaknesses right now with the Atlanta Braves. Lineup has been producing. Their starters are clicking along with their bullpen help as well. And that's with key pieces even missing. Ozzie Albies from Brian Snitker back into their bullpen, their closer, and Kenley Jansen. 3-2. And he draws a walk. And a chance here for Nolan Gorman. Isn't it funny? Sometimes when you throw out these lineups and you look at it and you say, yeah, it's pretty lopsided tonight. But those guys go out with no pressure and they have a little fun.
Of course. Let it rip, right? It's an opportunity for different guys. Not necessarily Gorman, who finds himself in the lineup a lot, but Nootbaar, Capel, Sosa all getting cracks at it today. Just let it go.
Well, 10 of the 14 runs on this trip have been scored with 2 outs by St. Louis. 2 runners on. And the first to Gorman is swung on and missed. He's able to square up a fastball, go 500 feet. A lot of talk last night about pinch hitting Gorman in for Albert Pujols, and at this stage in Albert's career, it's probably the right move. Albert even conceded that. It's off the plate, even though Albert did pick up an extra base hit, had 2 hits in the game, and he is now 1 extra base hit shy of Stan the Man. 1,377 extra base hits.
Yeah, that was not an easy move for Ollie to make. But you have to trust your process too. You said what you were going to do and how you were going to use him.
And Gorman pops it foul out of play. And that's a conversation that Ollie had prior to the season with Albert, where he said there's going to be, even though my gut wants you to hit, the numbers and where we're at with careers and whatnot are going to tell me to do something different, and that's what he did.
Well, that's exactly how the Dodgers utilized Albert last year. I mean, they very rarely did he see a right-hander, and it worked. He was having the success.
And the 1-2 pitch with a shift on the right side. A swing and a miss, and 3 strikeouts in the inning. Cardinals strand a pair, and Matthew Liberatore to the mound when we come back. This year, the 22-year-old gave up 5 runs in 2 2/3. Took a no decision. That was Saturday when the Cardinals jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Eventually won the ball game against the Phils.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal here for Matthew Liberatore. Uses his sinker and his 4-seam about the same amount. His big swing and miss pitch is the curveball. His changeup gets some whiff as well. It's been solid and mixes in the slider.
There's Ronald Acuna. 2 for 12 in the series. Couple of runs and a walk. Swanson and Olsen to follow here in the first. Then Riley, Darno, Ozuna, Duvall his first start. Arcia and Harris shift on the left side, and the first pitch is swung on and popped up. Long way to go. Who wants it? The center fielder does. That's Lars Nootbaar. Puts it away. Dansby Swanson, 3 hits in the series, couple of doubles. Well, you'd like to see Liberatore just settle in and pump strikes.
Yeah, big time, big time. Strike one is going to be one of the biggest issues overall for the season. He's sitting at 51% first pitch strike. Just for reference, 62% is the league average. But in the 3 starts that he struggled, it's only 44%. I mean, just falling behind everybody.
And the first pitch outside to the Atlanta shortstop.
By the way, that pitch right there, just off the plate, he does fall behind. That's 96 with movement. That plays. Throw your fastball more.
And the 1-0 pitch. He's working with Austin Romine, his 3rd start since being called up by the Cardinals. All 3 obviously in this series.
Been a crash course for the veteran Romine, hasn't it?
Big time.
He's seen everybody.
And the 2-0 pitch, 3-0. With the Cardinals, they get Goldie and Arenado on. They have reached base with 2 outs 7 times in this series to have those 2 on, and only once the Cardinals scored. There you go, a strike on the inside corner, and it's 3-1. Cardinals return home tomorrow night, and the Phillies are in St. Louis. Taken just a bit low. Edmundo Sosa getting started short tonight. Up the middle, his partner will be Nolan Gorman at second, Donovan at third, Goldie at first, Romine behind the plate, Capel, Nootbaar, Yepez. That trio in the outfield. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. So no Tommy Edman, giving him a little bit of a breather before getting back out there tomorrow night.
You know, in a tight game late, there's a good chance you might be able to see Tommy Edman out there as a defensive replacement. But Tommy going through a little slow time right now at the plate. They want to give him a little breather. You know how hard he works all the time. Sometimes you just got to take it away from him for a day.
Tommy just 10 for his last 63, so he sits tonight. Mentioned Goldie, Arenado could be all-stars, maybe Tommy Edman, Helsley, who knows about Albert Pujols, could be a commissioner's pick. All-star game in LA. Off the plate in a ball, 1 strike on Matt Olson. What a year he is putting together. 32 doubles. That's the Braves record before the All-Star break. And Brad, over half of his hits have gone for extra bases. The Atlanta record is 92 in a season. Hank Aaron did that back in 1959. He's going to have a shot. And he pulls that foul.
Yeah, when you start getting a Hank Aaron comp, with something you're doing in this uniform, you're doing something right. That's a pretty good comp right there, too. The average is down a little bit for Matt Olson. The power numbers are right there, though. OPS a little bit lower, but if you're moving on from a franchise player like Freddie Freeman, boy, that's not a bad pivot. To get Matt Olson in, you make the deal with the A's, you sign him up to an 8-year deal. You don't have to worry about that position. You know that he's a good fit, local kid.
They say he has really embraced it, understanding that he's replacing a fan favorite, a legend, and a guy that helped Brian Snitker win a world title for the first time in 26 years for the Braves, but he has embraced it. And the 1-2 off the plate, 2-2.
He can't just come in and just try to be Freddie Freeman. Like, that doesn't work. He's got to be himself, go out there, and maybe his legacy here in that 8-year deal that he signed, maybe it turns into something like Freddie had.
And he's also younger by a couple of years.
Yeah, that was one certainly I did not see coming, Dan. If I was going to pick a guy that was going to stay with his franchise forever, Freddie Freeman was going to be that guy.
Agreed.
But you know how baseball is. It's crazy, and there's a lot that goes into it. You know, whether he knew that there was an ultimatum at the end of it, or, you know, however it all went down. It seems like a little bit of bad blood there, but disappointing for Braves fans. Seems like disappointing for Freddie Freeman, even though he signed a monster deal with the Dodgers.
Swanson with 12 steals at first, running, and the pitch is a foul ball. Top of their lineup, pretty good speed, and Acuna's got 17 steals, and then you have Swanson with 12. After that, you get to the bottom of the lineup, the number 9 man, and that's Michael Harris, and he might be the fastest player of the trio.
Yeah, Michael Harris can fly. Got a really good arm, rangy in the outfield, hits the ball hard.
Liberatore is 5 of 12 strikes to start this game. 3-2 pitch. Swanson running again. Swing and a miss. Throw by Romine to second, and he's in there safely with stolen base number 13. Very good jump by Swanson. Not much that Romine could do with a good jump and also an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, with the curveball right there. By the way, it was a pretty good one by Matthew Liberatore. Tailing action, moving away from Olsen. You don't see that swing from him very often.
And the first pitch taken down and in by Austin Riley. Was he swinging a hot bat? 14 for his last 27. Half of those hits have gone for extra bases in just his last 7 games. He's third in the National League in extra base hits and home runs. He's got 21. Braves have done so much damage with runners in scoring position. They're 8 for 19 in the series, 4 doubles and a homer.
Well, stark contrast, right? You mentioned the numbers off the top that the Cardinals have had. There have been some opportunities throughout this series. Cardinals haven't been able to cash in. It seems like, and it has felt like, the Braves have cashed in almost all of them.
And the count of 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at second base. And the next to Austin Riley. Riley is 25 years of age from Memphis, Tennessee. First round selection by Atlanta back in 2015. It was a good draft class for the Cardinals that produced Harrison Bader, Jordan Hicks, Paul DeYoung, Ryan Helsley. The 2-1 tied him up 2-2. Such a key. Just get through the first inning with a little confidence. Get out of it unscathed.
For sure. Well, look what's happened in this series. It was game 1. Dakota Hudson had the 5-run second inning. It snowballed on him. Andre Palante in game 2 had the 5-run first. Miles Michaelis threw the ball really well yesterday. Offense couldn't get it going for him.
And the 2-2 pitch. Yeah, Miles Michaelis did not allow a hit for 3 2/3 to start the game. Then it was a base hit by the man at the plate, Austin Riley. And then in the 5th inning, it wound up being back-to-back homers hit by Ozuna and Rosario. Cardinals were shut out in the ballgame, but Miles went 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. They were earned in 92 pitches.
Yeah, Miles falls to 5-7 on the season. Record definitely not indicative of the way he's throwing the ball.
And that'll be walk number 2 here in this first inning. Maybe not the worst thing with Riley. First base open.
No, you try to get him to swing at something outside of the zone. I'm with you on that one. You mentioned the numbers coming into it, how hot he's been.
Now here's Travis d'Arnaud. And be careful on the first pitch. And you know that Liberatore wants to get ahead. Any pitcher does. d'Arnaud, though, hitting .500 on the first pitch with 5 home runs, 5 doubles this year. Runners at first and second. And he looks at a fastball for a strike.
I see that fastball, the life on that again, and it just makes me want to see more. I know how good that curveball is, and that's a pitch you could definitely finish guys with, but I think you can go back to back. You can throw a couple of heaters away.
d'Arnaud batting .340 against the lefties this year. Fouls it back, 0-2. Contreras, and they're splitting time. d'Arnaud and William Contreras, the brother of Wilson Contreras, and he's a guy that is producing with power. So he homered the other night. And now the Braves have 7 different players with at least 10 home runs. First time that has happened before the break in their history. The 0-2 curveball on the ground, gloved by Donovan. goes for the tag, and the runner Swanson out of the baseline. So the Braves will strand a pair, and no damage done. We played one, and there's no score. Take a look at our Indeed player resume. And it is a closer look at the Spencer Strider four-seam fastball, as Brad mentioned, using it about 70% of the time. That is the highest in Major League Baseball. And he's second highest in velocity, and that's behind Hunter Green of the Reds.
Yeah, Hunter Green can let it eat, but Hunter Green hasn't seen the results like this guy has. And look, in a game now where the fastball is thrown less and less, I mean, you're seeing the fastball usage as low as it's ever been in the history of the game. When you've got a great one, well, you should probably go ahead and use it.
And the first pitch is swung on and missed by Lars Nootbaar. One hit on this trip. He's 1 for 4. It was a 22-pitch first inning for Strider, and he struck out 3. Nootbaar getting a start in center field. Cardinals are hopeful that they'll get Bader back at some point before the All-Star break, but still we're not sure.
Well, it sure would be nice to have him back, solidifying center field. O'Neill, plan is, hope is he'll be back tomorrow to start the series against the Phillies.
And the 0-2, strikeout number 4. Final week of the 2022 Chevrolet MLB All-Star Ballot is here. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. Our finalists, vote for the starters daily at MLB.com/vote. All 4 outs have come via the strikeout, and here's Connor Capel. A couple of hits on the trip, and one of those his first ever Major League homer in Game 1.
Really is an interesting delivery here from Spencer Strider. He starts with his right foot already planted. There's no dropping into it. A lot of guys go through the windup and drop their foot in. He just keeps everything going right towards the plate. Really simplifies things and allows him to repeat it a little bit easier. See, that right foot just stays open the whole time. There's no risk ran there, and you see the drop and drive. That's where he gets his power from.
And the 2-0. 2 balls and a strike. Known as the Mustache Man, high school teammates grew facial hair, dyed their hair blonde as a way to bond when they were headed to some of the top high school tournaments, and that was a way to bond. So he kept it at Clemson, and he has kept it here in the big leagues. A little bit of a, I don't know, Freddie Mercury with throwing 98 to 99.
Well, it's catching on in the stands.
I guess so. It's quite the look.
Might be his father.
Could be. And a full count.
To see how he has that drop and drive delivery, a lot of that strength, in your legs. A lot of pitching is from your legs. It's from the ground up. This guy split squats 550 pounds.
Wow. Does he really?
Yeah. I mean, that's big time.
How much lifting, and you're not far removed from the game, but as a pitcher, did you do?
A lot. Well, especially, I mean, off season is building, in season is maintaining everything. But the work days, especially as a starter, the work days in between, they are just that. I mean, it is work. You have your leg day oftentimes the day after you end up starting, and earlier in the season, more so you get after it. Later in the season, you maintain a little more. But there's a lot that goes into staying healthy for 162, staying out there for 30-plus starts.
Were you a big runner, too?
Yeah, I think that has evolved a little bit, too. Like, instead of the guys, the old school starter thing was, okay, now go on a distance run. Well, I think that we've realized now it's kind of less about the flush run, more about, hey, more sprint work, more this and that. But yes, like, that was always part of it. The work never stops. And one of the guys that I always loved to watch work was Chris Carpenter.
Oh, I bet.
You get to see him work on the mound, but getting to see him work behind the scenes on those days that he wasn't pitching, that's what made him work on his 5th day.
Hold on to on the 3-2 pitch. 5 strikeouts already for Strider.
So The season high for Strider has been 11 punch outs. He did that twice, last time on his last start. And this ball just rides out of his hand. Yeah, the key, start early. If you get beat on a slider, then you get beat on a slider. He's throwing that fastball 70% of the time. He's one of those guys, especially early in a count, you just got to sell out on it.
There's Sosa 0 for 9 on the trip, with 2 outs and nobody on. As you talked about, Strider was added to the bullpen late last year, and the Braves were able to utilize him back into games as they went 88-73, won their 4th straight NL East title. And the Braves only had 3 last season in terms of debuts: Kyle Muller, Spencer Strider, and Dylan Lee. That was it. And he strikes out the side here in the 2nd inning. 6 already tonight for Strider. Let's say good evening to Jim.
Jimmy!
Austin Romine has had to learn about the Cardinal pitching staff on the fly. Tonight he's catching a guy he has actually worked with before. Austin told me, I caught Libby a couple times in Memphis before I came up here. He's a confident young pitcher, and he's focused on what it takes to win. Romine said that the Braves have a really good lineup, and you have to attack them and go right after them. Libby's got the off-speed stuff to keep them off balance. My job is to get him in a good rhythm and get him comfortable. Danny Romine has been around the block, veteran presence for sure.
Parts of 11 major league seasons. Cardinals picked him up, brief time in Memphis, and now here back in the big leagues. There's Marcell Ozuna, has a double and a home run in the series, 3 hits. Shift on the left side, and that is fouled back, 1 ball, 1 strike. Marcell with the home run off of Michaelis, and it was he and Rosario that went back-to-back in the 5th inning last night.
Well, I like that pitch that Matthew Liberatore just threw. 94-mile-an-hour fastball in. It's really important to be able to establish your heater in on these right-handers.
Former Cardinal in 2018 and 19 hit 52 home runs for St. Louis, and then got a 4-year $65 million deal from Atlanta, and he's in year 3 of that contract.
Also some memorable plays in the field.
Oh yeah,
at least one.
Oh yeah. Ozuna skies one into shallow center. Nolan Gorman, the second baseman, backing up to make the catch. I'm assuming you're referring to when he climbed the wall, ready to take a home run away, but the problem was the ball landed at the edge of the track.
That's the one.
That's the one.
It was definitely the Spider-Man play that I was thinking about.
It was memorable.
It was. It was. Well, he was a memorable presence too with the Cardinals. Like the energy that he brought. Obviously a big bat in the middle of a very good lineup here for the Braves.
Well, Duvall over the weekend, when the Braves took 2 of 3 against the Reds, was hit by a pitch on his hand and has not started in this series until tonight. Marcell also greeting Albert Pujols with a basket of peaches prior to the game and a very sizable check donated by the Braves to the Pujols Family Foundation.
It was a nice little ceremony before the game honoring Albert and the career that he's had. We've seen that happen at a lot of ballparks now. I mean, that guy right there is one of the best to ever play the game, and it's going to be the last time that these fans will get a chance to see him. So I love that every team has been doing that.
And the 2-0 pitch. We asked Ali Marmol before the game about Yadi. Have you heard from him? He said, yeah, we've been texting back and forth, and we anticipate that Yadi will be a part of this team before it's all said and done. And he's working out, he said, extremely hard to get back in better shape when he does, in fact, come back and joins the team.
Yeah,
so the knees are feeling better, too.
Exactly. Yeah, knees are starting to feel better. That's the biggest thing. Those things have to be under control before you can really put in the work to get yourself back into that shape.
And the 2-1 is a base hit into right. Yepez hustling to cut it off, backhands it, fires it back into the infield, and safe at second is Duvall. think in game one, Brad, if you had O'Neill or Bader on a ball that was hit by Swanson with the bases loaded, it's probably caught. If you have Bader in center on that play, or even Carlson, it's probably getting back to the infield a little bit quicker than what Juan could do.
I would think so as well. I mean, there are a lot of things that go into it. You look at players and you want more offense. That outfield defense is very important, and it's been very important all season.
And a curveball in the dirt to Orlando Arcia. 27-year-old from Venezuela was traded by the Brewers to Atlanta in April of last season. And he had a good year for the Braves coming off their bench.
That was an interesting move. They moved off Arcia very quickly. Their pivot ended up being getting Willie Taveras, which worked out pretty well.
Yes. Ozzie Albies, they expect to have him back, and that's a big piece missing from their lineup. Their everyday second baseman. He's a doubles machine, good defender. With a broken bone in his foot.
He's one of my favorite guys around to watch.
Hit left side, deep in the hole. Sosa will go to third. They've got a rundown. Heads up play by Edmundo Sosa. And the tag applied by Edmundo, so he takes away the base hit. Saves a potential run and gets an out of it.
It's a really good job by Sosa to recognize that Duvall is there in front of him. This play is right in front of Duvall. I'm not sure what he's thinking right here. You got to be able to see that one through as the play is in front of you, but that was about the only play that he was going to have there. Wasn't going to be able to get Arcia at first base.
And as a runner, when you've made a mistake like that, you got to stay in the rundown so you can have Orlando get to second base. And he did so. Now Michael Harris 1 for 9 in the series and looks at a ball low. The addition of Harris has allowed the Braves to have Ozuna stay in the dugout defensively and just be a DH. They had Adam Duvall at times playing center field earlier this season. Even Contreras, a catcher, was in their outfield.
You try to piece it together any way that you can, because things were not perfect for the Braves early on. Well, to that point, right? But you always looked at it and said, all right, well, these offensive pieces are going to be there. You looked at the roster. Most of the guys had track records, and you say it's going to click at some point. Well, it's safe to say it's clicked. Again, 26-7 since June 1st of the Braves.
Off the plate, and it's 3-0. So, again, pitching from behind, and that's problematic right now for the young lefty of St. Louis. 35 pitches already. Harris against lefties, batting .293. As Ron Washington, the third base coach, gets himself in a position to wave in a runner, and there's a strike. Former manager of the Rangers, his pitching coach was Mike Maddox back in 2011 when the Cardinals won that World Series. Some long nights here recently for Mike. And a long look here by Liberatore, and the 3-1 is a strike. The Braves have cut the deficit in the National League East. It shrunk from 10.5 games. It got down to 2.5 for the Braves. So they're chasing the Mets, and they'll have New York in town beginning tomorrow. Big series for them. Big series for the Cardinals, as they are essentially tied with the Phillies for the final wild card spot. Backhanded by Gorman, and the out. So 2 scoreless innings for Matthew Liberatore, and we move to the third. And there's no score. It was announced today that Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn will be a part of the All-Star game and the Futures game coming up in Los Angeles. Congratulations to those two, Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn. Both young guys are ready at Springfield AA.
These guys are 20 years old, each of them 20 years old, putting up those kind of numbers at AA. Like that does not generally happen.
Walker began the season at the age of 19 at AA. Just recently turned 20. It's fouled back by Austin Romine. Spencer Strider has walked a man, Gave up a bloop double off the bat of Goldie that should have been caught, and he has struck out 6. And the 0-2. It's one of the things, if you're Michael Gersh, John Mozeliak, the Cardinals front office, and you say, okay, we'd love to go get player X, and that team says, no problem. We'd like Jordan Walker. We'd like Mason Wynn. No. I don't think you're going to do that. Now, there are other ways to go about it, but for top-tier guys, you're that opposing team or a team that the Cardinals are talking to, those are the first names that are mentioned.
Yeah, I'm with you. Look, the right deal for the right player, maybe there are certain guys that you talk about, and I would talk about like cost-controlled players that you have for years, but boy, when you see these guys, you see the job that they've done of drafting and developing. This system is chock full of talent, specifically on the position player side, which, you know, it hadn't happened for a long time. A lot of times it was just pitchers, which is great because that's the best currency in all of sports. But it's nice to feel like you have those guys on the brink, and some of them here already. Gorman's here. Dylan Carlson, a young talent.
Well, Strider, first time through, strikes out 7. Back to the top of the lineup, and Brendan Donovan was called out on strikes to start the ball game.
Yeah, Brendan Donovan saying to himself, what do you mean? You're going to throw me a changeup now? You punched me out on 99 in last time. You're going to throw out the pitch you throw 5% of the time?
Wow, this guy's something. That's 8 strikeouts. Chevy pitch tracks.
What was the changeup on the pitch before? This time Spencer Strider lets it eat. It's 100 right at the bottom of the zone, and just a pitch that Brendan Donovan could not pull the trigger on. This guy's fun to watch. We got to get one of those.
Woo. Be nice to see.
Man.
Well, all 8 outs have been recorded via the strikeout. Now Juan Yepez struck out swinging back in the first inning, and a swing and a miss. We'll see the Phillies tomorrow, and the Phillies, after winning 15 of 17 to start the month of June, are now 7-8 in their last 15 games, and they'll have the Cardinals for 4, the Jays for a couple. Should be fun getting back home, getting off the road, and just changing things up a bit. Cardinals are hopeful for Tyler O'Neill tomorrow, and it's a good matchup. Adam Wainwright and Zach Wheeler. Those two hooked up on Sunday Night Baseball on this trip. 1-2 the count. Strider trying to make it 7 strikeouts in a row and 9 in 3 innings to start this game. The 1-2 and a base hit. Cardinals have their second hit of the night.
Nice job by Juan Yepez going the other way. We talk a lot about Yepez being a very pull happy guy. All of his power tends to be to the pull side. This is a pitch there's no way you can pull it. It's a fastball away at 100 miles an hour. Sticks a bat out there and drives it to the right side.
And now Goldie had the first Cardinal hit with 2 outs back in the first inning. Looking for that elusive 300th home run. They're swinging a miss.
Well, we're seeing Spencer Strider this second time around pitch backwards. It was all sliders first time to Goldie. Now he goes first pitch fastball. He mixed it up to Donovan as well, throwing in some of the changeups.
Big gap in left center and an 0-1 pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. 0-2.
That was a tight slider.
Well, Strider leads all rookies with a 2.87 ERA. Opponents came in hitting 175 against him, and he's striking out 14 per 9. The 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss. He's got 9 strikeouts in the first 3 innings here tonight. The 23-year-old from Knoxville, Tennessee. Will take part in a book signing on Saturday, 10:30 until 11:30 at the Cardinals Authentic Store in Ballpark Village. Grassroots Baseball Route 66. Former National Baseball Hall of Fame president Jeff Idelson will be there. The books are $70. Proceeds benefit Grassroots Baseball and Cardinals Care. The story tonight developing through 3 innings, 9 strikeouts. Spencer Strider. And the top of the lineup in Ronald Acuna.
Well, Dan, we got here on Monday, 4th of July for the game, and everybody around the Braves organization told us, hey, wait till Thursday. Wait till you get to see this kid, Spencer Strider. He's something special. Well, he's living up to the billing.
I'd say so. Shift on the left side, the 2-0, and Acuna looks at a strike. He was swinging at the first pitch, first time up, popped to center. Back in 2019, nearly became a 40-40 man. 41 home runs. He had 37 steals. And there's only 4 members of that elusive club. As Acuna hits it in the air into shallow right, backing up and making the catch. It's Nolan Gorman. Those 4 players, Canseco was the first to do it. Then Barry Bonds, A-Rod, and I think the guy that we forget when he was with Washington, Alfonso Soriano, did it. He was a 40-40 man.
Yeah, that is a rare feat.
Oh boy.
Really thought that he was going to get it. I remember at the end of that season, it was like, Acuna, watch. Is he able to rip a few more stolen bases?
Swanson walked and then stole his 13th base back in the first, and a swing and a miss. It'll be Dansby Swanson and Trey Turner, the 2 top shortstops hitting the market potentially at the end of this season. And the 0-1 pitch. But Swanson plays every day. He's played in every game this season for the Braves.
He doesn't appear to be slowing down at this point either. Having a nice series, having a career year.
Braves are first in homers, doubles, and slugging percentage, but they also strike out a bunch. That includes Swanson approaching 100, and the second strikeout for Matthew Liberatore.
Man, I really like that sequence too from Matthew Liberatore. Got ahead with the slider, then went heater in, then threw slider in off the plate off of that pitch. Very good execution of it. What I like too, he was free and easy on that and didn't try to make it break. He got the grip, he let it do the work. That looked great.
There's Matt Olson. And he lines it off the glove of Sosa and into center field. Cardinals had him positioned in the right spot. The short hop gets by Sosa, shaking his head, and it's a 2-out hit.
Well, this is a rocket right here. Olson gets a fastball right down the middle and takes it right back up the middle. That gets on you quick at 110 miles an hour off the bat.
And the batter will be Austin Riley. A couple of hits last night, which included a double. And Riley on the first pitch pops it up. Goldie giving chase in foul territory and out of play.
Well, we're seeing a lot more of this with Matthew Liberatore, of really getting that fastball in on the right-handers. That ties him up. I mean, he's got easy velocity. He's 94, 95 miles an hour. It looks effortless. The times where he rears back and tries to throw too hard, those are the ones where he misses his spot.
Remember on Saturday, it was like he couldn't get a grip of the baseball.
Especially on the breaking ball.
Yeah. It's fouled back, 0-2. Remember when Kerry Wood struck out 20 as a rookie in '98? That was his 5th ever start, and Strider has 9 strikeouts in 3 innings so far against the Cardinals tonight. The 0-2. Taken high.
I like elevating there, especially if you want to try to finish him off with the breaking ball down. He will swing over that. He hits the breaking ball in the strike zone well, but you can get him to chase down under.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Shift on the left side of the infield. The next to Riley is a strikeout. A swing and a miss, and 2 in the inning, 3 in the game for Matthew Liberatore. We head to the 4th. We're scoreless. The Kia player profile focusing on Cardinals third baseman Nolan Arenado. 9-game road hitting streak. 500 the average during those 9 games. The 10 extra base hits. As we talked about earlier, he's had a heck of a road trip here. Came in 12 for 24, and that's where it sits right now. He walked his first time up. He has 3 home runs on this trip. The Kia player profile.
It's what star players do, isn't it? Even
Yep.
in times where you're going through a rough patch, and this has been a very rough road trip to this point, that guy's still doing his thing. Goldie has been there as well. It's nice to have those steadying presences in a lineup.
Hit for the cycle. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Mentioned Kerry Wood. He was 20 when he struck out 20. Only the second pitcher to strike out his age, if you will. The other was 1936. And Bob Feller, who was only 17 at the time, struck out 17 in a game in 1936. And the 2-0 pitch. 2-1. So as you talked about, Brad, he has struck out 11 batters twice this season. In his last start, he was the first rookie since 1900 to have 2 games, 10 or more strikeouts, and either 1 or no runs allowed. As Arenado pops it up a mile high on the right side. That's Olsen under it, and he'll make the catch for the out.
Well, that is the first out that has been put in play. All of the strikeouts. Feels like a small victory, really.
It does.
Baby steps. Got a couple of hits. Got the blue double by Goldie. Juan Yepes shot one through the right side. But that's the thing. Like, this guy is coming right after you, throwing a lot of fastballs. You got a 0-0 ball game. You telling me Nolan Gorman can't turn around a fastball? Absolutely he can. So as dominant as he has been, you can get to this guy, and all it takes is a swing or 2 of the bat.
There's Nolan Gorman. Trying to think of who he reminds me of, because he's not big in terms of his height. Now, as you talked about, his lower half, he is as strong as anybody.
Maybe a little Roy Oswalt, maybe.
That's who I was going to go with, because he
Throws
throws
harder,
hard.
yeah.
Yep. You see how big his legs are, the thighs. That's where his power is generated. As Gorman lifts it in the air out to left field. And out number 2 here in the 4th. Best coverage in the game. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam, and we're looking at 23-year-old Spencer Strider.
They got 9 punch outs already in this ball game. Every strikeout has come via the fastball. I think he's used his slider very effectively earlier in counts to set him up, but the guy is coming right at you. He's not wasting too much time. I mean, this isn't a guy that's nibbling. If you threw 100, you wouldn't either.
Now Newbar, and a strike. So all the outs prior to this inning came via the strikeout. And the 0-1 taken high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Newbar. Struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. And the 1-1. Last night it was Brian Snicker bobblehead night here at the ballpark. Brian attended Macon High School in Macon, Illinois. 46 years in the Braves organization. Braves have won their division 4 years in a row and a world championship. Nootbaar sent it down the left field line, but foul. How about that? Brian Snitker was originally hired, by the way, by Hank Aaron. How cool is that?
It is cool. That is a nice one to have on the resume there. Who brought you in? Oh, yeah, Hank Aaron.
Yeah, you're going to stick around for a while.
That's
we'll give you the
sure.
benefit of the doubt.
I believe that longtime pitching coach Leo Mazzoni was also hired by Hank Aaron.
And Snitker actually had Adam Wainwright in the minor leagues. He managed Adam when Adam was originally drafted by the Braves and coming through their system. Here's a 1-2.
Where you love seeing organizational guys get that chance and then run with it. They know everything about the organization inside and out, what's expected of the players, what's expected of the staff, and they have the relationships from these guys throughout the years.
And on the other side, you have the youngest manager in the game in Ollie Marmol, and we were talking about this tough stretch he's going through, and he said, hey, I'm staying as positive as I possibly can. I have to do that, and I want to do that.
That's all you can do. You can be down in the dumps in July. You know, you can't do that. And your team knows that as well. You're trying every single day to fix it and put together different lineups, and you're hoping that the starting pitching comes around for you.
Second walk issued by Strider. We pause this message from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less, for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
With Brad Thompson, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes with us as well. Runner at first after the 2-out walk to Nootbaar, and now Connor Capel. Would you think about running just to try to get it going a little bit, try something?
But he is fairly quick to the plate. But to your point, are you going to be able to string together a couple of hits against him? I would not be concerned about going here or giving it a try.
First pitch is strike. It's 1-3 to the plate. 1-4 is kind of the cutoff, so he's below that. Darno throws fairly well, been around for a long time, and be taking a chance here. Nootbaar with one stolen base this year. The 0-1 pitch by Strider. And Capel hits it out of play. Remember Cliff Polite?
Oh, yeah.
Cliff was a tremendous athlete out of St. Louis, and then eventually made his way to the Cardinals in '98. He was a soccer player, all-state, and his lower half, his legs were just enormous, strong. And he eventually left St. Louis, went to the Phillies, but at one point closing for the White Sox, and he was throwing like this in terms of velocity.
Yeah, he was. Big part of that championship team.
He had a great year with the White Sox of '05 when they swept Houston. Young man out of Vianney High School and still living in the St. Louis area. Great guy. But a body type like this.
Yeah, I believe his son's following in his footsteps too. Stud pitcher.
Running on the play was Nootbaar and a foul ball that catches Darno. It's funny how the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
There's something to it.
Well, you're getting pretty good instruction. That's number one.
Yeah, you would think, but I think that there are a lot of parents out there that'll tell you, kids don't listen to you. Somebody else will tell them the same thing.
That's true.
And it's like, dude, I've been telling you that forever. And he says it and you believe it?
Right. Well, you're finding out now. You're coaching.
I know. I say the same thing over and over again.
Sure.
The other kids listen.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Capel. And it's popped up out of play. So 71 pitches now for Strider. It's another big crowd as we play on this Thursday night here at Truist Park, where the Braves are averaging just over 34,000 a game. LA first in attendance, Atlanta, and then the Cardinals.
They got a good atmosphere around this ballpark. They've done it right. Truist Park is beautiful. You and I had a chance to walk around a little bit the other night.
It's great.
Yes, it is.
Lined into center field, coming on, making the catch, Michael Harris. Cardinals strand a runner, their 4th of the night. We're midway through 4, no score. Hot night here in Atlanta, and we tell you that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals, and by Car Shield. Car Shield cars go farther. As Brad mentioned, we were walking around the ballpark the other night, and the statues, the memorabilia here at Truist Park, they did this place right. It's really well done. Fun to be here.
Yes, it is. And certainly you're going to have good energy at a ballpark a year after you win the World Series. Everybody's still riding the wave, and you're riding a really good team. I mean, these guys are entertaining. The starting pitching is good. You mentioned a couple of guys still not there for them, yet they're putting this together.
Line foul by Travis d'Arnaud. 1 ball, 1 strike. 33-year-old. He's been with the Phillies, Jays, the Mets, Dodgers, Tampa Bay, and now Atlanta.
Well, I like what we saw last inning out of Matthew Liberatore. Effectively pitching with his fastball, had really good feel for the slider. That's the curveball right there we were talking about last outing. Just popped out of his hand quite a bit.
Liberatore is allowed 2 hits. He's walked 2, struck out 3. Doesn't get that call. On a borderline pitch. It's now 3-1.
I'm still fine with living down there all day. You're throwing a 93-mile-an-hour sinker down and away, you're going to be okay.
3-1 pitch, and he walked him. 3rd of the night. 2 in the 1st inning, and a leadoff walk here in the 4th. Cardinals celebrating Christmas in July. That'll be a week from tonight. Doesn't matter if you've been naughty or nice, because all fans who purchase a Christmas in July theme ticket receive an exclusive Cousin Freddie bobblehead. Tickets available now at cardinals.com/theme. There's Marcell Ozuna, fly to shallow center. Good pitch. And a boy out in front at 74 miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't think Marcell was looking for that one. And that was that good breaking ball. Stayed on top of it. Late breaker.
And the 0-1 pitch by Liberatore misses in.
If you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss. You want to err on the side of caution. You miss over the plate, that guy hurts you. Better command with that heater.
Cardinals looking to turn a double play. They've turned 84 this year. Doesn't get the call. The bottom of the zone. 2-1. He's going to need that pitch to go his way more times than not.
Yeah, if he can live with his sinker, change up at the bottom, four seam, you can ride that up above the zone if you want to, but that's your ground ball pitch is down there.
2-1. Tied him up 2-2. It just joined us tonight. Strider, the starter for the Braves. First 9 outs were strikeouts, and we went back and looked at the last 40 years of baseball, and the only other time a pitcher did that against St. Louis was Corbin Burns, and he did that 2019. First 9 outs were all strikeouts. And the 2-2 pitch to Marcell Ozuna. Fly ball, right field. Yepes over, sliding for it, can't come up with it, off his glove. d'Arnaud to second, now on his way to third, and it'll be a double for Marcell Ozuna.
Well, you knew this one had a chance to be trouble off the jump with Juan Yepez out in right field. He goes after it, tries to make the sliding catch just off the edge of his glove. An inside-out swing right there by Marcell Ozuna. Pretty good fastball in. He just can't quite get there.
Runners at second and third. And Adam Duvall. Atlanta is 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight. And looking to strike here in the home half of the fourth. Strike one.
It's a big key for Matthew Liberatore in this spot to not make the situation bigger than it is. Don't try to do more. Don't try to throw harder. Don't try to make your breaking pitches break more. Stay within yourself just like he did on that fastball.
And the 0-1. Now 0-2. Junior Fernandez starts to throw in the St. Louis pen. Duvall with a double to right center his first time up. The 1-2 pitch fouled back. Steven Matz in a rehab assignment tonight. Jimmy will have more on that coming up. Talked to Steven. He actually was here at the ballpark last night, played catch, took a late flight to join Memphis and pitch tonight. He'll be back in St. Louis tomorrow. One more rehab start after this one, and then they'll evaluate the next step. But looking at around 4 innings tonight, maybe 5. But he said he feels good.
That's good news. And whatever 60 pitches ends up buying him, and you hope he's able to work effectively. Did work effectively.
Cardinals have a lot invested, years and money, in Steven Matz. Want to get him back on the field.
Well, and just have a significant need in the rotation. You want him here, but you also don't want to rush the process.
2-2 the count on Duvall. Curveball, and it's a foul ball.
I think Austin Romine behind the plate has done a really good job with Matthew Liberatore. I like the sequences, the pitch calling we saw in this at bat, going back to back with the fastball in. Haven't seen Matthew do a lot of that.
Inning started with a walk to d'Arnaud. Ozuna, the double off the glove of Yepez into the corner and right. The 2-2 swing and a miss, and he struck him out. And that's 4 strikeouts tonight for Liberatore.
You end up getting that swing on that slider in because of the fastball that you threw in there multiple times. It looks like the heater as it leaves his hand. And then he gets Duvall just to swing over it.
Orlando Arcia with a runner at second base hit into a fielder's choice that went 6-5-4-6. As Duvall got caught in a rundown on a backhanded play by Sosa, and that saved a hit and a run. And the first pitch is strike on the inside corner.
The home plate umpire Nate Tomlinson, well, there's been some pitches at the bottom of the zone that you don't get inside to the right-handers. He's calling that off the plate, and it's nice that Matthew is able to spot that up, take advantage of it.
A 1 pitch goes back in again and take it for a ball. Let's see just the sweat pouring off the cap and building on the jersey there of Liberatore on a hot night here in Atlanta.
It is one where you really got to stay hydrated, hydrating before.
Hit to second baseman Nolan Gorman, and the out. Matthew Liberatore is 1 out away from pitching out of this jam.
These are the situations where you end up learning a lot about a young pitcher. Does he fall apart when things start going awry? And so far, so good in this inning.
I think that was the right decision, too, by d'Arnaud. Nolan Gorman has a very good arm. So in a spot like that, he'd throw a strike to the plate. He's dead to rights. And the pitch to Michael Harris taken low. Grounded out to second, first time up. Runners at second and third. And 2 down. Harris, the youngest player in baseball, skipped AAA, went to the Braves. 21-year-old, 6 days younger than Wander Franco. As a matter of fact, he's the youngest Georgia-born player to debut for Atlanta. Prior to that, it was Brian McCann, who enjoyed a nice, long, productive career as a catcher. Really good player. And the 2-0 is a grounder that's hit to first. Goldie will take it. Liberatore out of the jam. Keeps the Braves off the board. Nice work from young Matthew Liberatore. Sosa, Romine, Donovan coming up. We're scoreless. Saturday, July 16th. Cardinals and Reds that day. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a mystery jersey featuring nicknames of various great Cardinal players. It's courtesy of Maryville University. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Well, what a job that was by Matthew Liberatore getting out of that jam. He had 2 guys on. He had nobody out, and he was able to navigate through that. That's a big moment.
It's huge for him and for the Cardinals to have a shot in this game. We're scoreless here in the 5th inning. Sosa struck out. Romine on deck. He struck out. Then you have Donovan due up third. He's over 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Strider, first 9 outs, all came via the strikeout. And the 1-1 fouled back by Sosa. Getting a chance to play a little bit more here recently on the homestand. Had a couple of triples in back-to-back games. He does play with energy.
Yeah, he does for sure. In those 2 games against the Marlins, like, he was a big catalyst of what you were doing. Ended up going 3 for 7 in those 2 games. The 2 triples, as you mentioned.
Popped up to Matt Olson, and he makes the catch. Cardinals have 2 hits tonight. They have stranded 4, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. The Braves, conversely, against Liberatore, they have left 6 on through 4 innings. Here's Romine. And speaking of the Marlins, they're only 3 back in the wild card. That's it. Giants 1 back. And then you have Atlanta, San Diego, the Phillies, by virtue of taking 2 out of 3 against St. Louis, percentage point ahead of the Cardinals, but essentially tied for that 3rd spot in the wild card.
Well, that 3rd spot, that extra wild card really does change a lot of things. Remember, Pablo Lopez's name has been thrown about in some different trade rumors. Now, who knows how serious they would be moving off of him. They'd have to get something very significant in return. But if teams believe that they've got a chance to sneak into a wild card, they're going to have a lot more teams standing pat or trying to add.
The 1-1 is hit down the right field line off the bat of Romine and out of play. American League, it would be Tampa Bay, Boston, and Toronto right now. Those 3 would be in. Cleveland 3.5 out. Seattle 4. The White Sox 4.5. So it's all going to be bunched together probably all the way through, as Romine is a day late on that swing and strikes out. And that's 10 tonight. Two outs. Brendan Donovan as we go a 3rd time through the lineup. It's been the four-seam fastball getting a lot of the strikeouts too. And as Donovan taps it foul.
It's 10 punch outs, as you mentioned. All of them have been on the fastball, and that's, I mean, his slider is good, but he's using it a little bit early and just finishing most of these hitters with that fastball, and a lot of them up in the zone.
Here's the 0-1. Nothing in 2, so trying to match his career high in a game. He's done it twice of 11 strikeouts.
See, look at that pitch right there. It's not a ton of movement to it, but it's 10 miles an hour slower, and he throws it for a strike with that changeup.
And the 0-2, Donovan puts it in play, hit up the middle, backhanded by Arcia. Oh, what a play. She takes a hit away from Donovan. We're midway through 5 in a scoreless game.
Three for Steven Matz tonight as Memphis is at Durham. His night is all done. Matz went 3 1/3, gave up a 2-run homer in the 4th, 2 hits, 2 runs for Matz, walked 1, struck out 4. In all, 59 pitches, 39 were strikes. Danny, as you mentioned, Ollie Marmol said Matz would probably need 1 more rehab outing, but the Cards are keeping a close eye on Steven Matz.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. And now into the ball game, it is Jordan Hicks. There's some guys out there that need some work as the Cardinals go to the Chevy call to the bullpen. They've been trailing in games, and Ollie's pretty steadfast in the fact that unless they're tied or it's a lead, you don't see Gallegos, you don't see Helsley, and sometimes you're not going to see Hicks, maybe even Cabrera. He could rejoin the club as soon as tomorrow. So Liberatore gives the Cardinals 74 pitches, 4 innings here tonight.
And I think there's a couple of things also that go into it. First of all, it's just getting the work. And by the way, you go from lefty big curveball to right-hander that throws 100. But third time around now for the Braves, you know how good this lineup is. Maybe you don't want to turn that over again for Matthew Liberatore. And you get him through 4 innings where he gets out of a big jam. And that builds a little momentum for him, maybe. You know, let him leave on that high note and piece it together now with your bullpen that's been very good here on this road trip.
So 4 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and he walked 3 tonight. Hicks last time out was July 2nd against the Phillies, and a ground ball gloved by Sosa, spins, throws, and what a play. He robs one of the fastest players in the game in Acuna, and what a play there by Sosa.
He has got to range quite a ways up the middle. It's a 100-mile-an-hour sinker here from Jordan Hicks. You see him playing more towards third base and has to turn on a dime and make that perfect throw.
And now it's Dansby Swanson. He is walked back in the first inning, stole a base, his 13th, and struck out in the 3rd. I'm with you, Brad. You go back to having runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out in the bottom of the 4th, and Liberatore gets out of it. Something to build on. Softly hit. Sosa gloves, throw up the line, safe. BJC Healthcare difference maker Matthew Liberatore.
It was a big spot right here. He ended up walking Travis d'Arnaud. Marcell Ozuna hit a double. What does he do? Well, he got the punch out, got this ground ball, and Nolan Gorman gets the out at first, and another ground ball to first base right here, and a big momentum shifting moment in a game where the starter on the other side has been flat out dominant. Well, he matched him zeros.
Scored a base hit for Swanson, and now Olsen. First pitch taken low. He's on pace for 63 doubles, which would be the most in the National League since Joe Medwick in 1936. He had 64 doubles in 36. Joe Ducky Medwick. He never preferred that nickname. He preferred Muscles because he was a part of the Gas House Gang, and he was a lot of times the muscle behind it.
Well, I think I too would prefer Muscles over Ducky.
Yeah. And that was the year before he hit for the Triple Crown in 37. Good fastball, 1-2.
That sinker at 101. We get to the point with Hicks. We've seen it for so many years now, but it's still amazing the movement that he gets and being able to throw that hard. You want a ground ball, that's your pitch.
And the 1-2. I just find it shocking he doesn't miss a lot of bats for as much movement that he gets on the sinker, and for the obvious reason he throws so hard.
Yeah, no, he gets a lot of balls in play, tons of weak contact. He's very rarely squared up, but you'd think there'd be some more swing and miss, and maybe that's kind of the evolution of Jordan Hicks, is maybe revamping that slider a little bit that gets more depth in it, get the swing and miss on that pitch. But I love the weak contact that he gets with that sinker.
Well, this month the Cardinals pen collectively a .83 ERA. They have been dynamite. Let's hit out of play. But now you got to have that coupled with the starters giving you length and giving you a chance to win these games.
Well, that's just kind of been the trend recently, right? It's like one aspect of the team is clicking and then something else is struggling. Just haven't been able to put it all together. But this bullpen has been very encouraging. A lot of guys have stepped up into bigger roles.
Fouled back by Olsen. Struck out back in the first. Then a single off the glove of Sosa into center field in the third.
I've shown him a few sinkers away in this at bat, taking a couple of good hacks. I think that Hicks could throw that good slider down and in and really tie him up. The key is don't pull it. Don't pull it across. You might end up hitting him.
And the 2-2 outside. We'll see if they want to start Swanson. That pitch at 102. Lefty's hitting just 189 this season against Jordan Hicks. And there's a look at the pitch sequence. Everything hard.
Remember when he was backing off this year a little bit
at 99?
As a starter.
Big shift on the infield and a 3-2 pitch. Runner goes and a foul ball. I know what the numbers say, Brad, in terms of the shift, and I would normally always agree with it, but I think there's sometimes guys that, number one, have good bat control and are able to take the ball the other way. Couple that with the fact that you have a sinker that runs away from a left-handed batter
at 100,
at 102. So do I really want to shift? I don't know. We'll see if it pays off. And with that last swing, even Brendan Donovan moves more towards third. Runner goes again, a swing and a miss. Romine to second and safe. Swanson stays on the bag in his second stolen base. And that's number 14.
Wow, that was that really good slider right there we were just talking about from Jordan Hicks. You show him a lot of fastballs away. Can you throw the slider down and in? You've got him in swing mode. He does so. Pretty good catch and throw there on a tough pitch down and in, really, by Romine, who I think is doing a fine job behind the plate tonight.
And that is the first strikeout for Hicks. And now it's Austin Riley. Inside, did not go. So says our first base umpire, Chris Conroy. Ron Kolpa, the crew chief, at second base. Carlos Torres at third. And Nate Tomlinson is behind the plate. Two balls and no strikes. So the roster could be shook up when the Cardinals come back tomorrow. When you think about a healthy Tyler O'Neill, Genesis Cabrera has been on this trip with the Cardinals here in Atlanta. Did a bullpen, then threw against live hitters, and could be activated for tomorrow night. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's about as good as news as you can get right now, right? You're starting to get a little bit healthier. You know what kind of a difference those guys can make. Cabrera, I mean, he's been a mainstay at the back end of your bullpen. He showed you the ability that he can go deeper into games. He'll give you 2+. Heck, he'll give you 4 against the Cubs if you need him to. And we saw Tyler O'Neill before he went on the IL the last time, really starting to look like the player we saw a year ago.
Boy, he'd be huge if he could come back and get close to that.
Just another threat in the lineup. And a Gold Glove defender.
3-1, now 3-2. Bounces into the St. Louis dugout. Full count with a runner at second and Dansby Swanson. Cardinals will have Yepez, Goldschmidt, Arenado due up in the top of the 6th. And a foul ball. Phillies beat Washington today 5-3. Pittsburgh beat the Reds 4-2. Houston 5-2 over Kansas City. Swing and a miss. Hicks comes back to get him, and it's back-to-back strikeouts. 6th inning coming up. No score. We are with you from now until the All-Star break. Our Budweiser What's on Tap and the schedule. One of the oddities and the quirks of this schedule is a 4-game series against the Phillies, which wraps up on a Monday. And then you have the Dodgers in for 3, and we'll wrap it up. Cincinnati will be in town for 3, and then the All-Star break will be here, and it'll be a race to the finish. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very difficult homestand. The Phillies have played really good baseball since June 1st. We mentioned the Braves are the best team in baseball since that mark. Well, the Phillies are the 3rd best team. I mean, they've been rolling as well. You know what the Dodgers have, so going to get tested before you get a little break.
Spencer Strider, first pitcher this season, 9 strikeouts through the first 3 innings of a game. Struck out 9 of the first 12 he faced tonight. Most recent major leaguer to do that was Pablo Lopez. It was last season against the Braves.
We talked earlier with Strider, the fastball is overpowering. Sometimes you got to sell out for it. That's exactly what Juan Yepez did right there with that slider in the dirt.
And the 1-1 pitch to Yepez. It was single to right on a 1-2 pitch. 2 outs back in the 3rd and struck out his first time up. So the Cardinals have picked up 2 walks in this game, and they have 2 hits. One was a ball that should have been caught in the first off the bat. A Goldschmidt dropped in. Turned out to be his 28th double. And then the aforementioned base hit to right in the 3rd by Yepez. Shift on the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They punched him out in the first at bat with a fastball up in the zone. His second at bat, he did just this, stepped out on him and shot a single to right field on a fastball that he was trying to elevate.
Ooh, he was guessing fastball and got it, because the first 3 pitches he went off speed, and maybe you're trying to blow one by him, and he was ready for it.
I think that you can get him if you elevate with it, but you leave a fastball anywhere near the strike zone. Juan Yepez has a good chance to put a very good swing on it.
And the 1-2. Tapped foul.
The 4 sliders in the at bat. This is where I would climb the ladder if I were Strider.
And the 1-2 pitch. Another slider. 2-2.
Somebody must have brought it to his attention and say, hey, that's cool and all, you've punched out 10, but you haven't even struck it out anybody with a slider yet. Can you even do that?
Right. This is pitch number 90 coming up. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with the slider.
Sure
and that's
can.
11 strikeouts for Spencer Strider. Jim Hayes, as he always does, gets the wave going here at Truist Park. Nicely done, Jimmy.
Well, that might get the Cardinals offense going. Slider, slider, slider. And a good one there. Juan Yepez just out there fishing for it. 11 punch outs. He did that last time out against Cincinnati. Has done it one more time. That is his career high.
First pitch to Goldie. Fastball high. 1 for 2. A double tonight. And struck out swinging. Now back-to-back games with 11 Ks for Strider. And that matches his career high. Good cut by Goldschmidt. Leads the National League in hitting at the start of play. Batting .343. 19 home runs, and he's driven in 65. And the 1-1. Another good cut by Goldie. 2 strikes on him. Two and two. That's the pitch you were talking about with Yepez elevating the four-seamer.
Yeah, get him to swing right through it. Right there. Goldie able to lay off of it. Now maybe he was looking slider away. We see that sometimes with him late in at bats.
Got him. 12 strikeouts and a new career high for Spencer Strider.
I'll tell you what, this kid is something special. Just going up there, triple digits fastball, and then able to spot this slider down the way. It's back-to-back punch-outs with that pitch. All the talk about him leading into this series has really panned out. I just love how aggressive he is. And with the stuff that he has, you'd think, yeah, of course you're going to be aggressive. You see a lot of guys, Dan, that have good stuff that nibble and try to be perfect. He is coming right after everybody.
Struck out this side. 1, 2, 3 in the second. 3 strikeouts in the first. 3 more in the third. 1 in the fifth. 2 here in the sixth. 2 balls, no strikes on Nolan Arenado, who is walked and popped out. I think this missed Darno. Yep, got the umpire, Nate Tomlinson, on his right shoulder.
It's a tough job back there.
That's what happens too when you've got that kind of slider and the spin rate, and you don't know exactly how it's going to react once it hits the ground.
They're not all going to be picked clean.
No. And the 2-0. 3 balls, no strikes. And you know he's got the green light.
Well, with all of the counts that Strider has been commanding, this is the guy each and every at bat he's fallen behind, and he's a dangerous guy to do that with.
And the 3-0. I would assume this would be the final inning for Strider. They've been pretty careful with his pitch counts. He's gone over 100, but not by much, and this next pitch hits the century mark.
Yeah, I would absolutely think so. Young starter, lots of upside. 106 is his career high.
Arenado breaks his bat, popped up. Strider goes out, called off, and the catch made by Ozzie Albies. Presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Scoreless ball game. Home half of the 6 rolls in. Looks like the night for Spencer Strider is done. Gives up 2 hits, walks 2, strikes out a career-high 12. Second inning of work for Jordan Hicks.
I think I can speak for the Cardinals offense and say thank goodness.
Yes. Fastball at 100, taken high by Travis d'Arnaud. Lefty Will Smith throwing in the Braves bullpen. Cardinals almost got to him the end of game 1. 30-plus pitches as he finished off St. Louis.
How about that for uncomfortable? That pitch right there is 101 mile an hour and just tailing in on Travis d'Arnaud. Then he's got a sweeping slider that goes the other way.
And the 1-1. Three balls, a strike. Ozuna on deck, and then Adam Duvall. The next by Hicks is fouled back. Well, you talked about it earlier, Brad. I mean, you look at Hicks as a reliever, and he's airing it out, and he is throwing hard.
It's crazy. He's throwing 103, and it moves.
Leadoff walk. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Jack in the Box.
My $5.99 double bacon cheesy Jack combo with double the bacon and double the cheese. Order on the Jack app today.
Leadoff walk, and here's Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna is grounded into 10 double plays, most on the Braves roster. Fastball taken high. It's an uncomfortable at bat because of the velocity. It's also got to be a challenge for the catcher too, which has been the case here for Romine. He's been bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, it certainly has. You're trying to corral 102 at the bottom of the zone. You're trying to stick it. But with Hicks, you know, the movement is one thing, and then he will have a tendency to pull across the baseball sometimes. So got to be able to knock that one down too.
And the 1-1. 1-2 on Ozuna.
104. Wow. I think he's feeling all right. Looks pretty good. We're going to have to update our max miles per hour now. 104, got a new high water mark.
There's a 1-2 pitch by Jordan Hicks. Swing and a miss at 103. It's 3 strikeouts for Hicks.
I don't know too many right-handed hitters that are going to be able to hit this ball. 103 down and away at the knees on the corner. No way.
Whoa. It's the 7th strikeout combined between Hicks and Liberator. Matthew struck out 4 and Jordan has struck out 3. There's Adam Duvall. Broken bat. Softly hit to third. Donovan gets the out at first, advancing d'Arnaud to second. Cardinals are partnering with Budweiser to celebrate Best Bud. Johnny and Wayno for a limited time can purchase tickets to all Monday through Thursday home games in July, August, and September for just $4.50. Now the offer will end tomorrow night. Visit Cardinals.com/BestBud. best buds. Orlando Arcia 0 for 2. And a ground ball softly hit to short. Sosa. 2 scoreless innings by Hicks. Packy Naughton was getting loose in the Cardinals' pen. We head to the 7th. Gorman, Newbar, Capel coming out. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest, brought to you by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better, and by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Truist Park, technically in Cobb County. It's about 10 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta. Opened in 2017. Beautiful ballpark. And we move to the 7th inning of a scoreless game. Cardinals trying to avoid the sweep. Will Smith is in. Cardinals due up Gorman, Newbar, and Capel. The Strider went 6 innings. He strikes out 12 in this ball game. And the last time an opposing pitcher had 12 or more strikeouts against the Cardinals was Max Scherzer a year ago. He had 13 with the Dodgers.
Oh, I remember that one well.
Yep. So Will Smith in. Shift on the right side. Here's Gorman, who has struck out and flied to left. First pitch is hit out of play. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Strider an even 100 pitches tonight. 69 were strikes. And Gorman lifts it in the air out to deep left field. Duvall back over his head. And a one hopper off the wall. And the Cardinals get a leadoff double from the rookie Nolan Gorman.
Well, we were just joking about it, right? Anybody other than Spencer Strider, get them into the game. As you mentioned, the first time we saw Will Smith, Dan, Cardinals almost got to him, and it had the bases loaded, worked around one hit and a couple of walks in the inning. This one's an elevated fastball away. Nolan does a really good job of going with it that way. I like seeing that stroke from him.
Strider now 102 strikeouts on the season, 10th most in baseball. Corbin Burns leading the way with 134, and now a pinch hitter, the switch hitting Dylan Carlson for Newbar. And the first pitch is strike. Albert Pujols will face Will Smith. A couple of hits last night. 3-batter minimum, so he will have to face him. The 0-1 pitch coming up to Carlson. And it's hit out of play. I was talking with Jeff Albert the other day about Albert Pujols, and he said one of the things that Albert has done with our young hitters is walk them through at bats, what a pitcher is trying to do to you in the game. You know, guys will be either done with an at bat or off that day, and Albert is always teaching, and he said it's remarkable how ahead of the game he is than most people.
Well, it's fun as we pan to him in games when he's not playing, how intently he's watching the game.
Yes.
Guy's not just there eating sunflower seeds, having a good time. While he might be enjoying himself, always watching.
That drops for a base hit into shallow center. And a base hit for Dylan Carlson, and in steps Albert Pujols. So I bring up the adjustment because Will Smith faced Albert in game 1. And what could be his final plate appearance in Atlanta, and here it comes. Honored before the game here tonight. Albert Pujols with 22 career home runs against the Atlanta Braves and 101 hits in his career. The 42-year-old, 683 career homers, 1 extra base hit shy of Stan the Man. Runners at the corners. Pujols pinch hitting for Capel. That's the pitch that got him the other night with the bases loaded.
Yes, it was. Went for the breaking ball in the dirt. We've been seeing a little bit more of that from Albert, expanding his strike zone a little bit, but you know this is a guy. You make a mistake, you throw that breaking ball, you hang it up there, it's going to go a long way.
Outfield is straight away. Quick move to try to get Dylan Carlson. Our crowd tonight, 37,756. 37756. The 0-1 pitch. Albert rips it out to left. It is caught. Duvall, his throw to the plate. It is not in time, and the ball gets away. Scoring. The Cardinals have a 1-0 lead. A rocket off the bat of Albert Pujols to left.
That was a nice job right there by Albert. 103 miles an hour off the bat. This pitch is in. He drops the head, gets the hands in, and able to drive in the first run of this ball game.
And a good job scoring on the play, Nolan Gorman, as he beats the throw. And advancing also Dylan Carlson from first to second base. And the Cardinals have a 1-run lead here in this 7th inning. Here's Edmundo Sosa. And a swing and a miss. Giovanni Gallegos begins to throw in the St. Louis bullpen. The sac fly for Pujols, that's number 121 in his career. As Sosa loses the bat, ball gets away, and Dylan Carlson will wind up at third base. That's one way to distract the opposition.
Sure is.
By the way, Brad, that sac fly, 121, that ties Frank Thomas, Hank Aaron for 4th most in baseball history.
Every night that guy steps on the field, he's climbing up some sort of a leaderboard.
Now the Braves bring the infield in. 0-2 the count on Sosa.
Pretty good pitch when you throw your bat 90 feet.
And Edmundo hits it out of play. Three infielders on the left side. The 0-2. The swing and a miss. Elevated a fastball, and Sosa hitless tonight, 0 for 3. And the second out in the top of the 7th. There's Austin Romine. Boy, 2-out hit would be big here. Romine 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. First pitch taken for a strike. The 0-1. Kept in front by Darno. Strider went 6 innings, 2 hits, struck out 12, walked 2, no home runs allowed, obviously. And he was dominant in 100 pitches. Will Smith was greeted with a double, then a bloop single, sac fly by Pujols, strikeout of Sosa, and now Romine, the 1-1. Pulls it foul near the Cardinal dugout. 1 ball in 2 strikes. Giovanni Gallegos throwing for St. Louis in the bullpen. There's some guys out there that should be pretty rested.
Yeah, for sure. Some guys that you've been wanting to get into ball games. This bullpen has been so good. We've been talking about the numbers, but it really has been a lot of guys that have just emerged, right? We're talking about guys like Thompson, James Nail, Junior Fernandez. Your back end guys haven't had a ton of work here recently.
The 1-2 popped up right side, and that'll find the seats out of play. And a 1-2 pitch. Romine pops it foul again. Well, the Cardinals in desperate need of a win here tonight. And you think about it from the Braves' perspective, it's so hard to sweep in baseball a 3-game series, much less a 4-game.
Sure is.
Sure really is. Tough.
And even with it, as dominant of a pitching performance as we saw from Spencer Strider, I mean, doesn't matter. You just know how difficult it can be.
Evens it up at 2-2. I think from the Cardinals' perspective, they can get a win. Then you say, okay, let's go home. Let's regroup. Long homestand, then the break. Come out of that and get ready to roll for the second half.
Yeah, look, 1 win out of 4 games in Atlanta doesn't fix your road trip and make it perfect, but it does give you a little something. You fly home, you feel a little bit better about what you're doing, and you get back to work.
And the 2-2 pitch. Romine again hits it out of play. Up there battling, and the 2-2, a strikeout. So back-to-back Ks. Cardinals have struck out 14 times tonight, but they own a 1-0 lead. Time to stretch. Seventh we go here in Game 4 of this 4-game set in Atlanta. 1-0 Cardinals. Liberatore started, went 4 scoreless innings. They've gotten 2 scoreless from Jordan Hicks. Paul Goldschmidt 1 for 3 with a double. Spencer Strider, the starter for the Braves, magnificent with 12 strikeouts, no runs. And Marcell Ozuna, the former Cardinal, 1 for 3 with a double. And the Cardinals now going to their bullpen with Giovanni Gallegos entering the ballgame.
Giovanni Gallegos got into the ballgame last night, threw an inning, 11 pitches, 6 strikes in his scoreless frame. Again, just trying to get some work in the ballgame. It's been a long time since the Cardinals have had a lead that they're trying to protect. So bringing the big guns out, I was really encouraged. But I saw a couple of things. Matthew Liberatore being able to get out of that inning. You had runners on second and third with nobody out in that inning. Gets out of that. And what we saw out of Jordan Hicks for his 2 innings, wow.
Pretty impressive. Cardinals with some changes defensively. So Brendan Donovan is now in left field. He began the night at third base. Dylan Carlson stays in the ball game. He's in center. Tommy Edman comes in to play shortstop. Edmundo Sosa going from short to third. And those are the changes for St. Louis. So left on the bench for the Cardinals, position player wise, Andrew Kisner. There's Michael Harris, 9th place batter. First pitch fouled back. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. I'm with you, Brad. I thought Hicks was terrific tonight.
He just had it working. I mean, look, we saw a pitch from him at 104, but to me, it's not all about the velocity. It's about the movement that's attached to it. It's about him being able to put those pitches where he wanted to. Saw a couple of really nice sliders from him as well.
So the final line on Hicks, 2 innings, 1 hit. There was an infield hit back in the 5th inning. Struck out 3 and walked 1. Liberatore went 4 innings, 74 pitches. No runs, 3 hits, struck out 4, walked 3. And the 1-1 coming up to Michael Harris. Swing and a miss. Lefties hitting .245 against Giovanni. This is where, if you're Ollie, you want this game badly. In the losing streak, go home with a win. And the question will be, which guy do you want to extend potentially if things go to plan? But do you go Gallegos 2 innings, or do you go 1 and then Helsley with 2, or vice versa?
Yeah, well, isn't it nice to have options, right, at the back of your pen of different guys that can do that? But Helsley, we haven't seen him in this series. Now, he did go 2 innings his last time out on the 2nd against Philly. But I think that you could easily extend him for another 2 here.
And the 1-2 pitch to Harris from Gallegos. High fly ball out to center. Carlson back at the wall, and we're tied.
Well, we've talked about this young man and his pop that he has. This is a fastball. It misses up, out, over. He's able to dive out there over the plate and put a charge into this thing to tie it up 1-1.
6th home run. He's driven in 20. And back to the top of the lineup, and Ronald Acuna. Acuna is 2 for 15 in the series. Brand new game, tied at 1. A swing and a miss. Tremendous article put together by John Denton, and you may recall the other night when Acuna and Yepez were having a little fun at first base. That's because they're very, very close. And when Acuna was signed, he was actually at Yepez's house when all that happened. Yeah. And a ground ball backhanded by Sosa at 3rd, and Ronald is 0 for 4. At one point, Yepez was kind of the higher prospect in terms of what a lot of the experts in baseball saw. They knew this guy could hit.
Yeah.
Acuna had kind of the raw skill set, came together obviously, but those two are very, very close. Cool story.
It is for sure. I love what Juan Yepez has been able to do with his opportunity here with the Cardinals. And look, Ronald Acuna Jr. is one of the best players in the game and one of the most entertaining players to watch, in my opinion.
And now it's Swanson. For Gallegos, 5th blown save, tied for the National League lead. Life of a late innings reliever, huh?
Not easy.
Nope.
You make a mistake, they make you pay for it, and at the back end of the bullpen, you really aren't working with much of a safety net.
Here's the 0-1. Nothing in 2. Cardinals in the 8th inning will have the top of their lineup. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase. And the first strikeout for Giovanni Gallegos, 2 away. While we have a moment, quick word from St. Louis Children's.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
A shift on the right side for Matt Olson, 1 for 3 tonight. Singled off the glove of Sosa into center field back in the 3rd. And a strike on the outside corner. Head to head, he's 0 for 3 against Gallegos. Well, this has been a good ball game too. Real good game.
Yeah, very well pitched on both sides. You got two bullpens that have been really solid here recently. We mentioned the Braves without Kenley Jansen, but they've been able to piece everything together. The Cardinals back end guys like Gallegos and Helsley have not had as much work here recently, but you feel very confident handing the game over. One pitch gets up and gets away from him. Harris ties it up, but still got some opportunities in this one. And you got Strider out of the game.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Darren O'Day throwing for the Braves in their bullpen, and the 1-2 pitch by Gallegos. Pulled foul. Olson got the 8 years, $162 million as Freeman leaves the front office of the Braves. They shift quickly. They trade to get Olson and then signed him long term. The 1-2. It's a unique stance used by Olson. They found that he was on his front foot a lot, so he tries to keep the hands out, then brings them back as it's a way to kind of load and then move forward and try to explode into the baseball.
You definitely don't see it very often. He gets into a launch position. When he's right there, he doesn't look like he can do too much damage, and then all of a sudden he's rocking and firing.
Yeah, it's unique how he starts, but you see before the pitch is thrown, he's back, hands are back, and then tries to rip the baseball. And a 3-2 pitch to Matt Olson. Pulled foul. I see that screen there and I think, why did it take so long to bring that to the game? I mean, that's a rocket hit there over the dugout. Thank goodness it's there.
And you've been down there. It does not obstruct your view.
Nope.
You're good. And like it or not, it's the world that we're in now.
For sure.
People are on their phones a lot.
Yep.
During ball games. So it's saving some people.
Big shift on Olson and the 3-2 pitch. Got him on the outside corner. Back-to-back Ks for Gallegos, but a leadoff homer hit by Michael Harris, his 6th of the year. Ties it up 1-1. Years old out of Clemson. Heard a lot about this young man, and we saw in person tonight why so many consider him one of the special arms in the game. And that's our StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Yeah, just a special talent, special arm, and the makeup. I mean, the fact that he attacks the way that he did, 10 punch outs with the 4-seam fastball, 2 of them with the slider. That was his last 2 strikeouts of the day. Just in command the entire time.
And now a different look with sidewinder Darren O'Day, 39-year-old. He's been with the Angels, Mets, Rangers, Orioles. Second time now with the Braves, the Yankees. It's reminiscent of seeing Tampa Bay. All the different looks that they have coming out of their pen.
Yeah, no, and I like that. I mean, if you're building a pen, if you have the ability to find different looks, I think it can be a big advantage. We've seen O'Day twice in the series already. Pitched the scoreless 7th inning with the punch out yesterday.
And this is Brendan Donovan, followed by Yepez and Paul Goldschmidt. Donovan is hitless tonight, 0 for 3. Junior Fernandez begins to throw in the St. Louis bullpen. The 1-1. As Donovan pops it up left side. And if Fernandez comes in this game, that should tell you what they think of his stock on the rise.
Yeah, you've seen him get into bigger and bigger roles throughout this season. His ability to throw strikes with his fastball. I think his breaking ball is really good. Everything about his stuff, I mean, screams late inning reliever.
And the next by Darren O'Day, the 1-2. Swing and a miss and a strikeout of Donovan. And that's 15 Ks in the lineup tonight by St. Louis. Sunday, July 17th, Cardinals and Reds. That day, 10,000 kids ages 15 and under receive a Nolan Arenado growth chart presented by Missouri Farmers Care. And we'll have the Prairie Farms frozen treats out in the Ford Plaza that day. Cardinals.com/promotions. Yepez is 1 for 3. Pair of strikeouts and a base hit to right field. O'Day has been in the big leagues nearly 15 years. Undrafted out of college.
It's worked out pretty well. Kids, if you love something, keep plugging away. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today talking about like dream schools that kids have, and look, you just end up going where someone will give you an opportunity. That's what you're looking for. Looking for a chance to play, chance to turn somebody's head.
And that is a foul ball. Not by much. He was in high school, he said. He threw in the mid-80s. Got some small school offers. Didn't want to go there, so he went to the University of Florida. Walked on. He's playing in a municipal 18 and over league. He tried out for that. And he just started goofing around, throwing this way, and it took. Popped up. Olsen near the line, now in foul territory with the catch. Usually it's guys that don't throw hard, or they were traditional throwers. It didn't work. They don't want to quit baseball, and they'll say, I'll try anything to stay in the game.
Yeah. When you have a lot of guys too that their natural arm slots might be a little bit lower, but they're taught to get them up so they actually get away from where that is. I think that if you see a young player with an arm slot and it's a repeatable delivery that may be a little bit lower, go with it. Let him do it.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt, and a pitch taken high. And the 1-0 pitch to Goldie. Off the plate. And O'Day went to Florida, tried out, didn't make the team, and he and his father loved watching baseball, and his dad said, you got to try it one more time. Just do it one more time. He makes the team, and then he becomes eventually the closer at Florida.
Waits for the nudge, pops.
Yep. The 2-0. Off the plate, 3 balls, no strikes. What about a 3-0 cookie and make that 3-0-0, number 300 for Goldie?
Don't threaten me with a good time, Dan.
I'm in.
I'm here for the party.
I get it. He's got a bloop double here tonight, 1 for 3. And it's taken high. So the go-ahead run will be at first base with 2 outs and Goldschmidt, and it brings in Arenado. 0 for 2 with the walk tonight, the designated hitter. Cardinals have struck out 15 times. They've received 3 walks, and they have 4 hits. Arenado is 0 for 3 with a strikeout head-to-head against O'Day. Shift on the left side. Big gap in left center. The first pitch off the plate and a ball. Corey Dickerson began his rehab yesterday. He played 9 innings in the ball game tonight. Went 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. But the bottom line, just seeing how healthy he is. See how he feels tomorrow. The 1-0. Also, T.J. McFarland is rehabbing in the minor leagues. So the clock has started with those guys.
Getting your healthy bodies back.
The lefty Dylan Lee throwing in the bullpen for the Braves. And the 2-0 pitch instead of check on Goldschmidt. Talked about Steven Matz. Jim had a report on the Cardinals lefty. A rehab start for Memphis tonight. Went 3 1/3. 2 hits, 2 runs. They were earned. Walked a man in 59 pitches tonight. Two-0 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Goldie is running, and a throw down to second, and an easy stolen base. Number 4 for Goldie. Thought they may do that. Doesn't throw hard, and why not take a chance?
Yeah, smart base runner in Goldie. He's got his timing right. It's a little bit slower of a delivery from Darren O'Day. And that was just first movement. As soon as he saw that foot go, he was gone.
So the go-ahead run at second base. 1-1 our score. The 2-1 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Off the plate, 3-1. So left on the bench for the Cardinals, if Arenado walks here, you'd have Gorman facing probably the lefty Dylan Lee, and they may just put him on. Why would you even mess with it? Yeah, and that's what they're going to do here.
I wouldn't.
That's the only problem that you get if you run a Goldie at that time, is that you leave first base open, and the decision for Brian Snitker becomes fairly easy. You wouldn't think you're going to burn Kisner, your backup catcher, only available position player, and then set up the lefty-lefty matchup.
Yeah, I do think that he's still going to get pitched tough there no matter what. Maybe that's the same outcome.
So Dylan Lee, the lefty, coming in to face Nolan Gorman when we come back. Dylan Lee in the 10th round of 2016 out of Fresno State, and then they released him before 2021. Braves scooped him up. He was very good with Gwinnett in the minors last year. 27-year-old did not break camp with the Braves, but he's been up and down in our Chevy call to the pen, and he'll get Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, might be finding himself a home here in the pen against lefties too. It's a lot of sliders. So Nolan Gorman, we saw in his last at-bat be able to drive a ball the other way. That should be the same thought here.
It's a ball game that saw the starter Spencer Strider strike out 12. Braves pitchers with 11 or more strikeouts in back-to-back starts. John Smoltz most recently did it in 1997. Prior to that, it was Warren Spahn.
Oh, wow. So pretty dominant.
Yes. Here's a 1-0. Nolan Gorman has scored the only run for St. Louis tonight on a sac fly by Albert Pujols in the 7th. The 1-1 pitch to Gorman. In the dirt. The switch hitting Dylan Carlson on deck. Gorman 3 for 10 against the lefties. Ooh, good cut. Foul back. 2-2.
That's the thing about Nolan Gorman. His hands are so quick that if he's thinking slider away or thinking a pitch away, right, letting it travel and go the other way, he can still catch up to that one. He can still get his hands, get the head of the bat on 93 on the inner half.
Braves with a shift on the right side of the infield. Arenado at first, Goldie at second. Fastball outside. They're off with the next pitch. Lee has inherited 11 runners this season. 4 have scored. Goldschmidt, by the way, is 20th consecutive stolen base without being caught. That's the longest active streak in the major leagues. And a big pitch coming up here. 3-2. Got him. Cardinals in our Chevy call to the pen. Pitched 2 nights ago. Had a scoreless inning in 19 pitches. Walked a man, struck out another. Not a lot of offense in this game. 9 hits combined. 1-1 our score. Cardinals have struck out 16 times. And Atlanta 9 times in this game.
Been a lot of swing and miss on both sides. And you mentioned it before with Junior Fernandez getting in this ball game. The trust that Ollie Marmol, Mike Maddox is having in his abilities, what he's been doing since being recalled. Hasn't given up a run. He's been out there just pounding the zone, showing off that upper 90s fastball.
Liberatore went 4 scoreless. Hicks 2 scoreless. Gallegos last inning gave up a home run to Michael Harris. Tied the game at 1. And now it's Junior Fernandez. Right-handers hitting 115. The lefties 100 against Junior. He's given up just 4 hits on the year thus far. Been very good.
That's a good pitch right there. It's that slider. You know you have to respect the fastball. And that's a late breaker. Comes out of the same arm slot as the fastball. Very difficult to pick up.
Austin Riley at the plate. 0 for 2 of the walk tonight. And the Cardinals have talked about the difference in what they've done with the repertoire of Fernandez.
Utilizing the sinker a lot more for him. And the pitch moves a lot. He's got good command instead of trying to go 4-seam up top all the time.
That's hit out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals in the 9th inning will have Carlson, Edman, and Sosa due up. It's Riley here, then d'Arnaud and Ozuna off the plate. 2-2. The next ground ball sharply hit and a base hit into left field.
It's a good pitch. Good spot. Slider down and away by Junior Fernandez. Gets him to reach out there. Just finds the hole.
Helsley and Packy Naughton getting loose in the St. Louis bullpen. d'Arnaud is 0 for 1 with a ground out and a pair of walks. Austin Riley at first base and a strike. Sinker also will give you a lot of ground balls too.
Especially at 99. That's pretty tough to square up.
Cardinals have turned to 84 double plays. d'Arnaud is hit into 5. Pitch taken high, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the 8th of a 1-1 game. 1 ball, 1 strike on Travis d'Arnaud. 2 hits in the series. Ground ball right side. Now a turn. It's a double play. Gorman, Edman to Goldie, and what a double play.
That's an athletic start of that double play right there by Nolan Gorman. He's got a range to his glove side, turn and make a perfect throw to Tommy Edman, and that's exactly what he does. Fantastic turn.
Reaction of Fernandez, yes sir, among other things.
I think he said yes sir.
Okay.
Yeah, and a little let's go at the end.
Now it's Ozuna. 1 for 3 with a double tonight. First time up. Ozuna popped out to the second baseman, Nolan Gorman, in shallow center. Then a ball that was hit into the right field corner off the glove of Yepez for a double, and then struck out. Huge double play turned by St. Louis moments ago. Two balls and no strikes.
It's a tough one. That's a strike. It's in the zone, but he's trying to go in with it. Romine has to reach across the strike zone to get it. It doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Nate Tomlinson.
So the 85 ground ball double plays for the Cardinals. That's the most, and it's by 11 over the next team. Colorado, and then Baltimore has turned 67 on the ground.
Well, it's really not that shocking, though, when you think about it, how the Cardinals built their pitching staff with a lot of contact, a lot of sinker ball guys, and then they built their defense so they could, you know, well, be one of the best defensive ball clubs.
3-0 pitch. And that'll be ball 4. It's the 5th walk the Braves have received tonight. First by Fernandez. And it brings in Duvall. How about Duvall? He signs a big deal with Miami, and then things don't work out there, and Braves said, yeah, we'll take you back, and got on fire. He's a valuable player.
Yeah, he is. I thought it was very surprising in the first place where they let him walk.
Agreed.
He was coming off of a decent year, but they decided to let him go and were able to bring him back. Worked out very well.
No, he's only hitting barely above 200, but he's got pop. One of the 7 in double figures with homers. And we will have a pitching change coming up. That'll be it for Fernandez. Gave up a base hit that was erased on the double play, and then a walk issued to Ozuna. Ryan Helsley coming in to face Adam Duvall when we come back. Chevy called to the pen, and it's Ryan Helsley. He'll come in with 1 on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And the batter he'll face is Adam Duvall.
Well, it was 2 strong innings from Helsley. Last time out, it was Saturday against the Phillies. And in a big spot right here, you get a runner on. Not messing around. You mentioned it earlier. Ollie Marmol's going to pull all the strings that he can in this one to nail down a victory, to be able to stay in this one.
So Rosario coming off the bench. Homered in the 5th inning last night. Bench-wise, they're in pretty good shape. Rosario being used here. They've got Contreras, Heredia. And so here we go. Short lead at first by Ozuna. And the first pitch taken for a strike.
Well, Rosario to start the season before heading to the IL and having eye surgery. 3 for his first 44. Since coming back, 3 for 10. Something, so he's seeing the baseball again.
The 0-1. A swing and a miss. who's last year's NLCS MVP, missed 61 games, undergoing the issues with blurred vision, and then ultimately had retina surgery. He had a swollen right retina and said he couldn't see the ball.
Yeah, pretty scary.
And the 0-2 in the dirt, 1-2. It's interesting to pinch hit here because Duvall against Helsley was 3 for 4 with a home run.
It is curious.
Yeah. Sometimes guys just have your number. Now, Ryan Helsley to me this year is a different pitcher, and that might be part of the equation as well. Here's a 1-2 and a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Rosario, and that sends us to the ninth. Helsley cleans it up, and we're tied. It's 1-1. A.J. Minter, the lefty, the Chevy called to the pen. Drafted originally by Detroit, 2012, did not sign, went to Texas A&M and became a second-round pick for the Braves in 2015. And he's had good numbers for the Braves.
He certainly has. Picked up the save last night in the ball game, his second of the year.
The switch hitting Dylan Carlson. We're in this ninth inning of a 1-1 game. Carlson, Edman, Sosa. Fastball taken outside. It's been Strider for 6. Smith win an inning. O'Day 2/3. Lee came in. Got a strikeout of Nolan Gorman with 2 runners on, a third of an inning, and now Minter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Strider struck out 12. His career high, coming off 11 in his previous start on Saturday. Cardinals tonight, all told, have struck out 16 times in the ball game. The 2-1 pitch. And Carlson lines it for a base hit into center. And off the bench tonight, Dylan Carlson, who was a pinch hitter in the 7th, stayed in the game, is now 2 for 2.
We've talked about it throughout this series, how good he is from that side of the plate. OPS about 300 points higher, batting from the right side. Short stroke has to be to get to 97 down.
And the batter will be Tommy Edman, his first plate appearance tonight. Edman checked in the ballgame in the 7th. The spot that Pujols occupied as a pinch hitter for Capel. So the runner at first, Dylan Carlson. First pitch to Tommy Edman. You love Tommy from this side of the plate.
Sure do.
Kind of like Dylan. It just seems to be the strong side. Some better at bats. Ollie was talking before the game how they wanted to give him a breather, but also they feel that he's kind of sweeping with his bat, not getting the barrel to the ball.
Yeah, trying to get that line drive up the middle approach. Let the ball travel a little bit instead of that rolling over to the pull side.
We're in the 9th inning, 1-1 our score, and an 0-1 pitch here to Tommy Edman. Carlson back to the bag. Third baseman is Riley. He's 3 or 4 steps off the line. Back a couple of steps from the bag. Bunch up the middle, and a big gap in left center. Minter, the 5th pitcher used by Atlanta tonight. Another check on Carlson. This side of the plate, Tommy hitting .299. And the 0-1 pitch to Tommy Edman. You know, Brad, it's interesting. You go with Minter here, and you've got some other options, and I realize he's been really good, but he is so tough on the lefties. They're just 3 for 33 against him. So if you get through this and potentially, you know, roll it over again to a Gorman, it's something to think about. And do you really want to turn around these guys too?
No, it's a great point. I think that they're just going with the hand that they trust, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they look at the stuff that he has and say, look, he's one of our guys. Well, Kenley Jansen not available right now. You know, hopefully comes back soon. We've seen him throw in here a couple of times during this series. Minter's going to be one of those guys that they lean on in big spots.
And if he's your guy in the back end games, this is when you use him.
Yep.
One and two the count on Tommy Edman. Another check on Carlson. The 1-2. Edman hits it out of play.
Does a good job right there staying alive. That's 98 on the corner. Could go either way. Home plate umpire Nate Tomlinson, I think he's been very consistent throughout this game. We haven't seen that pitch called a strike a lot, but you just never know late.
Another 1-2 pitch to Tommy Edman. Edman battling right now. Another 1-2 pitch. Got him. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Choices are never a bad thing, especially when they all look so good. Go ahead, take your time, and find the account that's perfect for you at GreatSouthernBank.com.
Needless to say, it's been a tough night for the hitters on both sides. That's the 17th strikeout for the Cardinals. Braves have struck out 10 times, and here is Sosa 0 for 3 with a pair of Ks and a pop out. Carlson, the runner at first base. And ball one.
You know, 17 strikeouts are a lot easier to face if you win a ball game.
Oh, yeah. Game in Philly, Cardinals struck out a bunch to begin the road trip. I believe that was 15. Now ending it with right now 17. And the 1-0 pitch. Instead, another check on Carlson. He's got about a 2-step lead. Off the plate, and it's 2-0.
You know that Sosa's not afraid to put a charge into something. He gets a fastball, he'll let it fly.
Two balls, no strikes. Runner at first with one out here in the ninth. In a tie ball game. And he let it fly there. 2-1.
I like the swing.
Sixth game this season, the Braves have struck out 16 or more. 17 is the high for both the Cardinal hitters, Braves pitchers. The 2-1 pitch to Edmundo Sosa. Instead, another check on Carlson. He's thrown over about as many pitches as he's thrown to the plate. Two and two. Yankees beat the Red Sox behind Garrett Cole. He's 8-2, 6-5 there. We'll see the Phillies tomorrow. They won over the Nationals 5-3. Mets 10-0 over the Marlins. So Braves trying to keep pace with New York. 2.5 out in the East. And a 2-2 pitch here to Sosa. Fouled away.
Well, the Cardinals have been fortunate as they've dropped 4 in a row, that the Brewers dropped 2 of 3 to the Cubs. Idle tonight. They start a series at home with the Pirates tomorrow. So a little bit tougher schedule for the Birds here before the All-Star break.
A shift on the right side of the infield. Then it moved to the left side. They've been back and forth in this at bat. And the 2-2 pitch to Sosa. Hits it to the right side. Olsen spins and throws, and they'll get one. That's the lead man, Dylan Carlson. What do you think? First pitch, Sosa, let's go. Get a read if you can and go.
Yeah. You got to figure out a way, get somebody into scoring position. He's got the speed.
Something to consider too. If he's thrown out and you go into extra innings, he's your runner at second base.
That's a great point.
You know, it's Austin Romine if he makes the final out.
Great point.
Austin Romine is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It's the medical team there talking to Ali. Sosa, your runner at first base. First pitch, a ball outside. And there's also the factor of the speed and what it may do to a pitcher in this spot. You speed him up as well.
And what happens when you speed the pitcher up, trying to be quick to the plate, ball gets elevated, something Romine can put a great swing on.
And the 1-0 to Austin Romine. Instead, a check on Sosa. Minter, a 1.80 ERA, his 39th appearance. He's allowed just 1 home run this year. Struck out 46. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Romine. And another check. You know it's bad when the home crowd starts to boo you.
Yeah, but as you mentioned with Sosa, you do want to keep an eye on him. But he's getting some reps. We're going to have to start counting some of those as pitches.
Is it 2 or 3 in the minor leagues you can't throw over anymore?
Yeah, they varied with some rules. They've done it twice. 2 times over.
I don't know if I like that one.
I don't either. And you can pick over a 3rd time, but you better be right.
Yep.
You better get him. If not, he ends up getting the base. They've done a lot of different rules, trying to speed up the game and trying to change different things. We've seen oversized bases. We've seen the shift be limited.
There's a 1-1. They got him out in front, 1-2. In the bottom of the ninth, the Braves will have Arcia, Harris, and Acuna. Runner goes. Doesn't matter. Cardinals have struck out 18 times in 9 innings. We're tied 1-1. Albert Pujols has the lone RBI for St. Louis, coming off the bench with a sac fly. Strider went 6, struck out 12. And Michael Harris, a solo home run against Gallegos to tie the ball game up in the 7th. Gallegos got the home run allowed, and then 1, 2, 3. After that, with a couple of strikeouts, then Fernandez came in the 8th. Single, double play, a walk. Helsley came in and struck out Rosario, the pinch hitter. Cardinals 18 strikeouts in their lineup tonight, and for the Braves it's 10.
Been a lot. It's been a lot of strikeouts in this game, as we were talking about before. Though you figure out a way to win this one, you don't care about it as much. You regroup and get ready for Philadelphia, but just waiting for something to break your way in this ball game.
Arcia is 0 for 3. One our score, and there's strike 1. Most strikeouts in a game this season, 20. Houston struck out 20 Angels back on July 3rd. And the strikeouts piled up by Braves pitching, the 18, that's second most. Also in that series with Houston and the Angels, it was nearly 50 strikeouts in the series collectively. I believe it was 48.
That's the game nowadays. That's what everybody's looking for, is that swing and miss in their rotation out of their bullpen.
Taken low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1.
You mentioned the Angels being the team that struck out 20 times this year. Talk about a disappointment of a season. Sitting here 8 games under 500 currently. Have 2 of the most electric players in baseball. I was watching Shohei Ohtani's highlights from his game against the Marlins the other day. I mean, the guy is, it's must-see TV every single time he steps on the mound or steps up to the plate.
And the 3-1 is a walk. The winning run is aboard. 6th walk the Braves have received. You know, Ohtani's got 7 homers in his last 23 games. He's driven in 21. And he's 5-0 in his last 5 starts on the mound. Not bad. This tied the game up. Michael Harris with our Budweiser play of the game. The rookie with his 6th home run to tie it at 1-1.
Yeah, like what I've seen out of the young Michael Harris.
Gosselin will run for Arcia. Third baseman Sosa in on the grass just in case for the bunt, and ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch by Helsley. That was the pitch there that he hit out, kind of up and a little bit outside, maybe on the black of the plate.
Yep, it was a little bit higher from Gallegos. He was able to just get the barrel to. Strong guy, good compact swing.
Big gap, right center. Gosselin, the winning run at first base. And the 1-1. Out to deep left center. And it is caught! Carlson with the catch. And this might be two. Throw to first. Double play as Dylan Carlson saves the game here in the ninth inning. That's his third. Tremendous catch in the past two nights. Up against the wall last night. This one reaching full extension, robs him, and it turns into two.
That is a dead sprint from Dylan Carlson off the bat of the left-hander. You know it's tailing towards the gap, and they're able to double up Arcia. Oh my goodness, what a play.
An incredible double play. 8-6-3 on the double play to save the game. Now it's Ronald Acuna.
We're just asking for a break, right? Where's that? Where's it coming from? Well, maybe it just came right there from Dylan Carlson making one of the best plays of the year in one of the biggest spots.
And the 0-1 pitch to Acuna. Now 0-2. That ball gets down. The way that Gosselin can run and the fact he was already past second, game is over.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Swing and a miss and a strikeout of Acuna. Dylan Carlson saves the game tonight in Atlanta. A double play started by Dylan in center. And we've got extras. 5, and they are winless in extra innings at home. Cardinals 2-2 on the road. And so it'll be a new pitcher, Tyler Matzik. The Chevy called to the pen. The final out was Austin Romine. He struck out back in the ninth inning, and Gosselin stays in the ball game at second base. And you may be wondering, well, why not use Andrew Kisner? Runs better. You can't do that. Not in extra innings. You can't pinch run unless it's an injury. And in that case, then it's a different story, but can't do that. So he's at second base, and now it's Donovan to start this 10th inning. If you just joined us, the Cardinals have 18 strikeouts in their lineup, and the Braves have 11. Donovan is hitless, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. And the first pitch taken for a ball.
I got to tell you, Dan, after the first 3 innings, I might have taken the over on 18. As Spencer Strider had 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, by him.
Over 3 innings.
I thought it might be him.
Yeah, exactly. He only ended up with 12, 10 on the fastball, 2 on his slider. Ridiculous outing.
Here's a 1-0. Room on the left side for Donovan. And he goes that way. It's a base hit. And Romine trotting to third casually. Taking no chances. And it's runners at first and third. Donovan against a lefty. That's what he does. He'll go the other way.
Well, you got to love that. It is a great stroke right there. Lets it travel.
What are your thoughts on Romine here at second base?
Wow.
Just wanted to make sure, I guess it got down, but pretty clear that was going to be a single.
You got to know where your outfielder is in that one. He was playing back a little bit deeper. You knew that one was going to get down. Now, I still don't know if he actually scores on that, even if he's running. I mean, Romine does not fly by any means.
And now it is Juan Yepes with Goldschmidt on deck. Goldie against any lefty, you take him. First pitch to Juan Yepez. And Yepez hits a high fly ball into right center. Harris is over. He'll make the catch. Romine will tag. He will score. And the Cardinals have the lead. It's 2-1. But an RBI from Juan Yepez is 27th.
Couple of guys just getting the job done here. It's first Donovan goes the other way, gets the runner over at third base, and then Juan Yepez lets something travel here, gets it into the air, and all of a sudden you got yourself a lead that you'd love to extend here with Goldie up.
Boy, you love Goldie against a lefty. The first pitch to him. And that'll get down, maybe. No, on the run, it's Harris. Fires to first, and safe. Donovan back in. Well, we've seen some outfield defense now.
Man, I was right there with you. I thought that thing was going to die for sure and end up landing in front of Harris. He has some closing speed on this one. That was a close play over at first base. Brian Snitker's going to want to take a look at this one. Nice play by Harris. He appears to be in with that left hand.
So Brian Snitker will challenge in this spot with Nolan Arenado coming up. That young man is going to be some kind of player.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Again, if you haven't seen much of the series, he made the jump directly from Double-A to the majors. Did Michael Harris, and he can fly. He's got a big arm. It's pretty close at first base.
Confirmed, the runner is safe. Atlanta loses.
Goes the Cardinals' way.
Well, either way, tremendous play in center field by Harris.
And now it is Nolan Arenado. Ryan Helsley only had 15 pitches. I would think that Ali sends it back out there.
This is his.
Shift on the left side. Arenado has walked twice. 2 outs, runner at first. That's Donovan. And the first pitch taken low. Arenado has never faced this lefty. In the 10th inning, the Braves will have Swanson, Olsen, and Riley 2, 3, and 4 in their lineup. And the 1-0. Arenado with a high drive out to left, but didn't get enough. Shy of the track. Sounded loud. Not enough. Sends us to the bottom of the 10th. Brendan Donovan, the base hit. And then the Cardinals able to go on top. The Atlanta Braves as they start with Ronald Acuna at second base. He struck out to end the bottom of the 9th. Swanson tonight, pair of strikeouts, walk, 2 steals, an infield hit. You get Swanson, Olsen, and Riley, and good speed at second base.
You certainly do. In those 3 guys, in Swanson, Olsen, and Riley, you also have 7 strikeouts in this ball game. Been a lot of swing and miss in the middle of this order, and a guy on the mound that gets plenty of it himself.
And the first pitch to Swanson, instead a check on the runner, Acuna. He's got 17 stolen bases this year. By the way, the Cardinals held him in check in this series so far. He's 2 for 17. And Swanson rips it to third. What a pick here. It's Arenado-esque. Wow, what a play by Sosa.
That'll wake you up a little bit. got that heart rate going. He's playing in here on Dansby and gets a rocket short hop and is able to corral it.
Almost knocked him over.
The defense has been showing off in this ball game.
That is such a huge play, and it keeps a runner at second base. Here's Matt Olson. The Cardinals have gone with the extreme shift with Olson in this series, but with a runner at second, you can't. Especially with the speed of Acuna, you got to be fairly close to that bag.
Well, he'll take advantage of it if you shift Sosa any more towards the shortstop position.
And the 0-1 hit the other way. Acuna will score. We're tied. And a smart play by Carlson not to fire at home. Make sure he keeps the runner at first base.
Yeah, with the speed of Acuna on that ball, there is no way you're going to be able to get him at the plate. Sometimes you want to come up and be a hero and make the best throw ever, but it's not the smart play in this situation. Olson does a really good job of letting that travel. We just talked about the shift. That side is open.
So we are tied 2-2. And now it's Austin Riley. And Riley on the first pitch pops it up. Out of play. Riley walked in the first, struck out in the third, the fifth, and a single against Junior Fernandez in the eighth, and then was erased on a double play. Room on the right side of the infield. The 0-1, a base hit into right. Olson on his way to third. The throw by Yepez offline. Runners at the corners. In a whole lot of trouble right now for St. Louis.
He made a pitch. Down and away, trying to go in though, ends up breaking the bat and dives into right field.
Mike Maddox out to slow things down as d'Arnaud is hit into a double play. It was 4-6-3 back in the eighth. He's walked twice. It also grounded out. Runners at the corners with one out here in the home half of the 10th. Tied 2-2. This is all Ryan Helsley. No one throwing.
This is it for Helsley, and we know how overpowering his stuff can be. You look at the couple of hits in this inning. Matt Olson takes a ball the other way, just a ground ball up the middle. Right there by Riley. It was a broken bat hit. It's time for Helsley to get nasty in this one. You know he can do it.
d'Arnaud is hit into 6 double plays. And Helsley and the Cardinals need number 7. Or strikeout. Infield in for St. Louis. Only run that matters is down there at third base. That's Matt Olson. There's pressure on everybody here. Even Romine and Helsley. Wild pitch, pass ball, anything would win the game. First pitch is taken for a strike. Nothing and 2. So it was 89. That pitch, triple digits there from Helsley. What do you come with here?
Yeah, you could tell on that first pitch that he was looking for a fastball. Look, I try to elevate the heat here and see if I can get him to swing through that for fear of backing up that breaking ball.
Now time called. .22 pitches for Ryan Helsley. Atlanta 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position tonight. The 0-2.
Well, he didn't back it up. He threw a really good one. Really good slider down and away, trying to get d'Arnaud to swing over the top of it. I think Romine behind the plate has had a great evening, calling the game, blocking pitches. He's been very solid tonight.
And that's Olsen. He's at third. And the 1-2 pitch to d'Arnaud. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Elevated with the fastball at 99. And one more to go to send us to the 11th. Helsley, his third strikeout, the 12th for Atlanta tonight. And it's Marcell Ozuna. Playing behind the runner at first. And that pitch is hit out of play. And Romine on a backswing by Ozuna is hit and down. We saw that a time or two in St. Louis with his back swings, his finishes of the swing. And he caught Romine square on that first pitch from Helsley.
It looked like the barrel of the bat caught him right in the back of the helmet.
Ooh.
I'm glad to see him be okay in this game. I mean, that's as square as you're going to get caught.
2-2, bottom of the 10th with 2 outs, runners at first and third. No balls and a strike on Marcell Ozuna. He has a double tonight and a walk. And the next to him from Ryan Helsley, a ground ball, backhanded by Edman. Throw up the line and the tag is there. Oh, what a game. Olsen ties it up. You regroup and you head to the 11th. To the 11th, Arenado will be the runner for St. Louis at second base. Nolan Gorman will hit. He'll lead it off. You'll see Carlson and Edman. This has been a really fun baseball game.
Yes, it has. There have been clutch plays on both sides. Teams bending but not breaking.
Nolan Gorman with a double, run scored back in the 7th. Scored the first run of our game. He has struck out twice, flied to left, shift on the right side. Gorman, base hit. Arenado made sure it got through with the shift. And now runners at first and third. Gorman against the lefty picks up the base hit.
It's a nice stroke on a slider that's away. We've seen him staying on the ball really well this evening. Pitch is elevated. He's able to hook it.
Well, Dylan Carlson has the defensive play of the night. And it was an awesome play with the game on the line. Gosselin, the runner at first. Ball hit to deep left center and makes a play on the run at the track, and then the Cardinals turned it into 2. Gosselin was around the second base bag. He's also had 2 hits. And remember, he did not start tonight. Carlson pinch hit for Newbar back in the 7th. Faced Smith and got the base hit. Then a base hit off a Mentor, and now he's facing another lefty here. They have 4 lefties in their pen. They've used all 4. And the 0-1. 0-2. Packy Naughton begins to throw for the Cardinals in their bullpen. They have Thompson, Naughton, Nail, and Oviedo. And we did ask about Oviedo. They said he could potentially pitch tonight, but probably wanted to stay as much as they could away from him.
Yeah. What do you think about Thompson? He's pitched in back-to-back games.
Yep.
Chances are you're going to stay away from him.
And the 0-2 pitch to Dylan Carlson. Inside.
I've been very impressed with Packy Naughton out of the bullpen. I mean, he comes in there, he works quick, throws a lot of strikes. We saw him in game 2 of this series, went 2 1/3. A gutsy performance.
And the 1-2 pitch to Carlson. And that's lined for a base hit. Off the glove of Gosselin and into shallow right. Arenado scores, and the Cardinals back on top, 3-2. It's a 3-hit night off the bench for Dylan Carlson.
Always ready. You never know when the opportunity is going to come up in a given game, and Dylan has made this his game. 3 hits, the great, outstanding play, and this one just out of the reach of Gosselin. I mean, that was a heart stopper right there, because that was going to be 2.
And now the Cardinals have runners at first and second for Tommy Edman, who struck out back in the 9th inning. Coming off the bench tonight. Nobody out. And a strike to Tommy. It's a game in which the Cardinals, through 9 innings, had 18 strikeouts in their lineup. Did not strike out in the 10th. Haven't done so thus far here in the 11th as Pop Warner talks it over with Tommy. He is 0 for 1 head-to-head against Matzik. Big gap in left center. The 0-1. So your runners are Dylan Carlson at first base and Nolan Gorman. He's at second. A count of 1 ball, 1 strike on the Cardinals shortstop, Tommy Edman. The 1-1. Edman lines it into right. Ooh, battling the lights. Acuna makes the catch to throw to third. And Gorman is in there. Good base running by Nolan Gorman.
Very good base running. That is a rocket of an arm in right field by Acuna. That ball was stung by Tommy Edman.
So runners at first and third. Let's see Acuna here battle the lights and then flat-footed, still putting something on it to get it to third.
That thing's on the line.
Well, if he is able to normally get behind that, he might get Nolan Gorman.
I think he does.
There's Sosa, hitless tonight, holding at first, in at third with 1 down. And a swing and a miss. Well, I'd be awfully tempted to think about a squeeze in this spot.
I love the idea of the squeeze.
Fundamentally sound player. Teams rarely do it. And now you're in the hole, 0-2.
Well, now you got to shorten up.
Cardinals have a total of 3 sacrifice bunts, by the way, this season. Packy Naughton continues to throw in the St. Louis bullpen. Big gap in left center. And an 0-2 pitch to Sosa. Got him. So the Cardinals, that's their 19th strikeout in the ballgame. First strikeout for Matzek. And they need a 2-out hit from Romine, and it's been a tough night at the plate. He's 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts. Runners at first and third. Carlson, your runner at first base. Nolan Gorman down at third. Two outs and 2 on. First pitch to Romine. Put in play. Chopped softly towards short. A flip to second. Cardinals strand a pair. They've left 11 on, but they have regained the lead thanks to Dylan Carlson coming off the bench. He's 3 for 3. It's Packy Naughton when we come back. And he is driven in the go-ahead run to make it 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 11th. Packy Naughton, 0 professional saves in the majors or the minors. And it's our Chevy call to the pen. You talked about his outing the other night. And the Cardinals needed some length. They needed some innings. And he came into the Cardinal dugout. And as you know, Brad, sometimes you're the guy, you're the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. And you have to go out there and wear it or give you innings when you're on fumes. And he went to Ollie and said, I'm ready to do whatever you want to do.
I got you.
And Ollie said, we're not sending you down. We're not doing that. And Packy later said, look, this is professional baseball, and sometimes the business of it gets you. You know, you're the guy. You've got the options. They can swing you. And you have nothing but respect for a guy that does that.
That's it. That is it. You take the ball, you go out there, and you do your job. And he did end up saving the bullpen, and he provided himself even more equity. He has looked very good and very confident out of the bullpen for the Cardinals so far. And as you mentioned, without a career save, look, this is an enormous spot for Packy Naughton in a game that the Cardinals, boy, they would love to get something here out of Atlanta. A game they fought so hard. See if they can seal this one up.
So you get William Contreras to pinch hit for Rosario. Ozuna, the runner at second base. And the first pitch hit out of play. Contreras has a home run in the series. Gosselin on deck, and then Michael Harris. You mentioned it too. He doesn't come in and look scared. I mean, he goes right after hitters. So don't know how this is going to turn out, but he pumps strikes for the majority of the time.
Amazing what happens when you control counts.
The 0-2 put in play, left side. Edman looks back Ozuna, and a key first out. It's so big when you have that runner staying at second base and you cannot advance him to third with just 1 out.
Did a good job right there of getting him out in front of that changeup.
Phil Gosselin came in as a pinch runner in the 9th after the walk by Arcia And Harris hit a deep fly into left center, caught on the run by Carlson to save the game. Gosselin was running around second and doubled up. He's also had a line drive go off his glove. That was the ball that Carlson hit that wound up being a base hit and brought in a run. The 1-0 in 11 relief appearances, 12 and a third innings. Packy Naughton has allowed just 7 hits. He has struck out 12 and a .73 ERA.
That'll play.
You bet. Righties have had their way with him at a .326 clip. Off the end of the bat, backing up a bit. Carlson gets behind it, makes the catch, and throws to the cut Tommy Edman, and there's 2 away. So in a game in which the offense has struck out 19 times for the Cardinals, the Braves have struck out 12. The Cardinals have used Liberator, Hicks, Gallegos, Fernandez, Helsley, and now Naughton. They're 1 out away from walking away and salvage a game in this series.
Well, this is the guy that ruined things earlier. It was a fastball up and away. He drove it to dead center field off of Giovanni Gallegos.
2 outs, runner at second. Ground ball hit to second. This will do it. And the Cardinals win it. They salvage a game and they win it in extra innings. Packy Naughton, great work. Dylan Carlson, great work off the bench. And a hard-fought win, 3-2 St. Louis over Atlanta in 11 innings.
You talk about a much-needed victory, a lot of smiles, a deep breath over there in the Cardinals dugout. Dylan Carlson have a day. 3 hits off the bench, a game-saving play. Packy Naughton, the entire bullpen. Matthew Liberator got out of a big jam early. That's a team win right there, a much-needed one.
The 2 wins on this trip, boy, they were tough.
You earned them.
Game on Saturday and this one here tonight. Wow. Cardinals hold on and they win it in 11 innings. And some smiles finally on this trip, and that's good to see. We head back home to St. Louis and also to the post-game show. Comes your way next. 3-2 the final.